Thursday night's game against the Patriots without their leader on defense. Standout pass rusher Von Miller remains sidelined indefinitely with a knee injury. Playing without Miller is a challenge, but Buffalo is still built to win a Super Bowl, explains ESPN's Herm Edwards.
The loss of Von Miller hurts you. It hurts you as far as defensively, schematically what you want to do. But remember this defense still plays good in the red zone. They're third in the league of giving points up. They're only giving up 16 points. They're scoring 27 points. You have the quarterback in place.
Herm Edwards on First Take. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee Show said he plans on playing Sunday against the Bears after getting positive test results on his rib injury. NBA, Timberwolves All-Star forward Karl Anthony Towns expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a right calf strain, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Team expects him to return sometime in January.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Peter Burns, 15 minutes. Shea Dixon, 1 hour from right now. Sean Salisbury in hour 3. Been having a lot of recruiting questions. It's sort of just an odd week because normally this week, you're seeing it around college football if you're paying attention outside of our little bubble here. You were seeing tons of transfer portal news every day, tons of recruiting news every day, commitments, decommitments, flips. That's because the regular season ends. Coaches go back out on the road to recruit, and so you see a lot of movement and roster shakeup in this week. Well, LSU's preparing to play the number one team in the country, so they're a little bit isolated from that, but they have had a couple of defensive linemen one decommit here in the last week. They did land a 2025 cornerback. So Shea Dixon, 1 hour from right now. We'll talk some recruiting, how this week is being managed by LSU and what we can look forward to. So that's coming up 1 hour from right now. And I know a lot of you have asked for that. So if you do have questions that you'd like me to ask Shea, you can feel free to get them in. You can email me, tweet me at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Buy Forward YouTube chat. You can always text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Don't want to completely ignore the recruiting front because it's a key week for that. But there's obviously bigger fish to fry for LSU right now, considering they're getting ready to take on the number one team in the country. So glad to have you aboard with us here. Speaking of which, LSU will hit the practice field today for the first time in their preparation for the Georgia Bulldogs. Yesterday, Monday is a film review day, a treatment day, and then Tuesday they hit the practice field. So Brian Kelly, everyone's watching Jaden Daniels, of course, to see his status. Brian Kelly, just as a refresher, said this on Monday about Jaden Daniels and what the plan was for him this week.
So he's been evaluated. He's in a walking boot. We'll keep him in that boot today, and then tomorrow he'll go in for his exam. And really, this is about, strength. He'll go on the Alter G today, so he'll run with no, obviously, force and keep him conditioned even through today, which is a weight training and film study day. And then tomorrow he'll go through a manual exam where effectively he's got to be able to get up on his toes. If he's able to do that, then we're ready to go for Tuesday.
So Tigers practice this afternoon, and presumably Jaden Daniels will be out there, and we'll certainly get some type of insight into that if Jaden Daniels is able to go or how effective he is. Speaking of which, Kirby Smart was obviously asked in his availability about the LSU quarterback. Here's what he said.
Everybody you talk to, he's way faster than you envisioned. He is athletic. He can go into super quick hyperspeed mode, run away from you, run around you. He stiff arms guys. He's really athletic, but it's not like he's one of these guys that can't throw. He's a pocket passer, and he's very polished. He throws the ball really, really well, and he's extremely athletic. So he's the combination that when you start saying, all right, what do I got to have to beat people in this league, is an athletic quarterback that can beat you with his arm, and he's that.
He's thrown for 2,500 yards this year, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That is a better than good year. There have certainly been down moments, as we've talked about, but Jaden Daniels accounts for 65% of LSU's offense. 65% of this team's offense. LSU goes as Jaden Daniels goes. So they will need Jaden Daniels as close to whole, and the Daniels we saw against Florida, against Ole Miss, the second half against Auburn, the Bama game, of course. You're going to have to see that Jaden Daniels on Saturday for LSU to have a chance in this game against the Georgia Bulldogs, the number 1 team in the country. Interestingly enough, I was kind of looking at, I don't know if you've paid any attention to this, and I know some of you lock into point spreads and betting lines and things like that, and some of you don't. But even if you're not into sports betting, that's fine. But we all kind of look at what the spread is, because Las Vegas is the completely objective judge, right? I mean, the only thing Vegas cares about is money. So they want to have an accurate line that's going to generate action on each side. So the line opened up around 15, and it's up to 17.5. Obviously, that's a reaction to LSU's loss against Texas A&M. You've had a lot of money come in on Georgia, which has caused that line to increase. For what it's worth, I was looking at sort of some historical context. The most one-sided spread, not result, but spread, in the history of the SEC championship game, again, so going back to 1992, was the 1995 SEC championship game. Florida that year was a 24-point favorite over Arkansas. If you remember that season, or for those who don't remember that season, LSU beat Arkansas in Tiger Stadium on the Friday after Thanksgiving, the regular season finale. Shut them out, as I recall, and it was a good Arkansas team, but LSU got hot. Obviously played in the Independence Bowl that year against Michigan State. Nick Saban, that was Jared DiNardo's first team, but LSU beat Arkansas in Tiger Stadium, but Arkansas had already won the West. They went to Atlanta and got blown out by Florida in that game. The final was 34-3, but that spread was the biggest, the 24 points back in 1995. We've only seen a double-digit spread a couple of other times. In 2011, LSU is a 12.5-point favorite over Georgia. LSU won 42-10. In 2008, Florida was a 10-point favorite over Alabama. They won 31-20. In 2004, Auburn, that Auburn team that went undefeated, was a 14.5-point favorite over Tennessee. They won 38-28. And in 1998, Tennessee, with T. Martin, the team that won the national championship, was a 14-point favorite over Mississippi State. That was Mississippi State's only appearance in the SEC championship game, and Tennessee won that game by a point. Tennessee won that game 24-14. They won it by 10. So it has been a rare occurrence that you have seen a double-digit spread in the SEC championship game. And it is rare that you see the underdog win outright. Alabama last year won as an underdog, beating Georgia. But that is something that has happened seldom throughout the history of this game. LSU back in 2001 won the game outright as an underdog. But it's been a rare occurrence. From 1992 to 2013, it happened only 5 times where the underdog won the game outright. So LSU has a steep hill to climb. We all know that against Georgia. And Georgia when they lock in, they are a fantastic football team, and by and large, their defense carries the day. They're the number 1 scoring defense in the country, allowing an average of 11 points per game. The 2 teams that have scored the most against them, oddly enough, are Kent State and Missouri, who each scored 20 points against the Georgia Bulldogs. And, of course, they throttled the 2 best teams on their schedule. They beat Oregon 49-3, and they put Tennessee in a 3-hour chokehold, beating them 27-13. So that defense is something to handle. LSU is going to have a great game plan, and Jaden Daniels is going to have to be ready to roll on Saturday when LSU takes on the Bulldogs. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Our Tuesday shows are brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. Give them a call. Let them shop independently for free to find you better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana, 293-0450 or lainsurance.net. Okay, a lot to get to today. We'll knock out our first break of the show. When we come back, we'll talk to Peter Burns of the SEC Network, get PB's thoughts on Saturday's game between the Tigers and the Bulldogs, and again, Shea Dixon to start hour number 2. Glad to have you aboard with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org. Going to keep telling you about this here over the next several weeks as we get close to the holidays, but the Baton Rouge General does a really cool thing every year on their Bluebonnet campus. It's the Baton Rouge General Holiday Lights. You can get on by and see those. You can get to the website to learn more at the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. It is Giving Tuesday, as many people know, and you've seen everywhere. You can certainly give to the Baton Rouge General Hospital. You can do that right on the homepage, brgeneral.org. You'll see it there. But so many different services that they offer across their different campuses. Of course, the Mid-City location, the Bluebonnet campus, the Assumption Neighborhood Hospital, the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations, which is walk-in urgent care 7 days a week. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network allows your physician in Baton Rouge clinical collaboration with the experts at the Mayo Clinic at no extra cost to you. Expanding healthcare in Baton Rouge, it's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. brgeneral.org.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I'm glad you're with us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR. Always appreciate a visit with our buddy Peter Burns of the ESC Network, who joins us on Tuesdays. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. Everything is I'm good, considering that loss that we had to A&M 8 weeks ago. 8 weeks ago, I've convinced myself that the A&M loss happened like in week 4, and I'm just excited that we're going to the SEC championship game. That's how I'm mentally preparing for this week.
You know what, Peter? I said this yesterday, man, and I get why people are disappointed, and rightfully so. But man, going to the SEC championship game, it's not a consolation prize, man. It's a big deal, and LSU doesn't get to do this every year. So I understand how disappointing last week is. I'm not telling people don't be bummed out, but man, this is still pretty awesome, man.
It's year 1.
I know.
I mean, it's like can you imagine these conversations? And again, yes, I'm framing my disappointment a little bit different. Of course, we would like to have seen that game before college football playoff berth, but I mean, I saw some LSU fans just, I can't believe this, Brian Kelly, this and that, and I'm like, bro, like, are you kidding me? Like, if I would have told you before the season, you'll be in Atlanta, would you take it? 99.9% of people would have been like, hell yes.
Well, 100%. 100% would have taken being in Atlanta, of course.
No, there's degenerates that have been like, nah, it's rolled. They would have been that 0.001%. That have been hanging up and drinking too much whiskey with T-Bob late at night playing Dungeons and Dragons, something like that.
Mezcal, by the way, is
Mezcal.
That's T-Bob's poison. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, again, like that's what people telling me. My wife came over here a couple of days ago, and she's like, "How you feel?" And I'm like, honestly, I was like pleasantly disappointed. I'm like, I'm so pleasantly surprised that we're going to be there, but yeah, I am disappointed that just more kind of the vibe for this week feels off. Like, how is it in Baton Rouge this week right now? Like for you guys and your listeners.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I think the fan base isn't over the loss on Saturday. That's the focus. And the really strange thing is, you went from, in a matter of 24 hours from feeling like, okay, beat A&M, and your worst case scenario is Orange Bowl, best case you're in the playoff as the SEC champ. Now people are like, man, what if you go on a 3-game losing streak to end the season? You're playing in a crappy bowl that nobody cares about, and it feels like a lot of the goodwill from the season will have eroded. I mean, that's the fan conversation this week for sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and I don't know if just because I'm too close to it now, Matt, working, being over here for the last decade, is the fact of like, if it's not a college football playoff bowl, I'm not saying that they don't mean anything. I guess maybe, if it is a Sugar Bowl, that's awesome. Outside of that, Gator, Outback, Las Vegas, well, it doesn't necessarily move the needle to me, because I look at higher aspirations for LSU football. Like, the aspirations for LSU football is to play in Atlanta, which, boom, check mark in year 1 is awesome, but to be in a college football playoff situation. And it's just not going to happen this year, which, again, was not out of the realm of belief when we started this season. Hell, I mean, even before maybe even the Ole Miss, game, right? Like, I mean, at that point, is kind of when everything kind of popped off.
And look, there were points in this season, obviously the conversations we were having after the Florida State game, after the Tennessee game, that were humbling. This was another one, but the highs have been high for this team, which are cool. Like, do you, Peter Burns is with us on Twitter at Peter Burns ESPN. Like, what sort of chance do you give LSU, like, to win the game on Saturday?
I mean, I guess it's a cop-out. Let's assume, are we assuming Jaden's 100%? Are we assuming he's 90%? What do we think?
Yeah, we'll find out later today. He's clearly not going to be 100%, but man, they're going to tape that thing up and he's going to go.
Yeah, put some tussin on it. He'll be ready to go.
What's that stuff that they use in soccer? Like that they spray the injuries. Yeah, whatever that is. Spray that
like
on his
ankle.
ankle.
That the Pulisic or whatever today looked like literally they're gonna have to amputate both of his limbs today after he scored the goal for USA, and then like 15 minutes later he's back like running like a 4.240. I'm like, God bless that spray. 15%. 15%. I mean, okay. and that's probably the same as I would have said had they beat the drum off of A&M out there. Like, I mean, you can catch them. I think this is a more gettable team than it was last year for Georgia. But again, I still think that you play this game 10 times. LSU might win it once, maybe twice.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think that sounds right. And you hope the result on Saturday is that one, that outlier. But man, look, Georgia did lose last year in this game to Alabama. So as much as we're talking,
and nobody saw that coming.
Right.
And no, I mean, like literally, I remember. Like, I mean, everybody, and even my bank account remembers it probably, about like, hey, who do we think's going to win this game? And sure enough, I mean, Bama just whooped them. Let me ask you this though:
okay.
What are you pulling for on the other games?
Oh, I don't. Wait, do you mean like the other conference championship games?
Yeah, and the only reason why I say that is that I found myself this week looking at this, pulling for TCU and USC to win. And I know I hate it. Going back to 2003, I can't stand anything USC related. But the only thing I hate worse is Ohio State. And I don't want Ohio State after getting absolutely curb stomped in their own building by the Wolverines. I mean, just embarrassed. I don't want to see them creep back in to the playoffs. And I damn sure don't want to see two Big Ten teams in there. So in a weird way, I'm pulling for TCU and chalk with USC to win. So it's just kind of clean and easy.
Yeah, chalk is fine with me. I mean, I think we're going to – I mean, I do think that Georgia wins. I think Michigan will handle Purdue easily. TCU, Kansas State is the one, Peter, that – look, I mean, I watched that the first go-round, and Kansas State was up 28-10, something like that.
Yeah, I think 17 or 18 like in the third, I believe.
Yeah, and I give Kansas State a really good chance in that ballgame. And I think that Southern Cal will have no issues with Utah. I know Utah beat them once already, but that was at Rice-Eccles. This is neutral site in Vegas. Everything on the line. Different teams played the second time. I think SC wins easily. So I do think chalk holds. The one exception might be TCU, but Peter, nobody listening to us right now wants Bama in. So I'd rather see Ohio State than Bama.
Yesterday. This is crazy, right? Like the criteria that the selection committee lists on their website have a bunch of different things. And the first thing they said, when combining teams of equal stature, they look at strength of schedule. Tennessee's got more of a better strength of schedule than Alabama. They look at head-to-head. Tennessee beat Alabama. Ranked top 25 wins. Tennessee has more than Alabama. Common opponents, look at LSU. I mean, LSU obviously beat Alabama. Tennessee, just absolutely crushed us at home.
On the same
11
field,
a.m. Kickoff. And neither of them are going to have conference championships. So, like, every single one of that criteria leans toward Tennessee. The problem is Hendon Hooker's no longer there. But I still don't think it matters. I still think that if it would have to get to two teams in. It would have to be. I would almost take a TCU with a one-loss close before I would get Alabama or Tennessee in.
Well, here's the other thing I would ask you, Peter. And Peter Burns is with us from the SEC Network, of course, courtesy of Blue Delta Jeans all season long. We appreciate PB's time. Where is Alabama's good win?
Mississippi State.
Right.
I mean 8-4. I mean. They don't really have. I mean, I guess you could say Texas, but that's still kind of hanging around at the low, mid-20s or so. So, I mean, Tennessee clearly has the much better wins, but they also got a day in which their defense decided to not get on the bus and got blown out by Ed Williams-Brice.
That's the difference. Is Tennessee's two losses were awful losses. They got stomped out twice. Bama's two losses were both on the final play, one in overtime on a 2-point conversion. One was on a walk-off field goal. So Bama has the better losses. Tennessee has the better wins. How do you reconcile that? And I think that's the same question I would ask you about Ohio State. Ohio State has a one-sided loss at home, but it's just one loss, and they do have the season-opening win against Notre Dame for whatever that's worth. That's why I think if it comes down to it, Peter, I always say the committee's going to follow the path of least resistance. And the path of least resistance is let me not have to make a tough decision about Bama, Tennessee, and just put the team with one loss in.
And again, that's why we go full circle. And by the way, Ohio State, people are talking about that Penn State win. Penn State played two ranked opponents this entire season, and they lost by a combined 35 points.
Yeah.
They lost both of those games handily. So, I mean, again, it's not as if, like, Penn State's just like, we beat up on a bunch of crappy Big Ten teams, and they're there. Like, I still wish that we had some type of, like, student exchange program for college football teams where we could throw like two SEC teams in the Big Ten for just 2 years. Just 2 years and just see what happens. Like it's out of a bat. All of a sudden, it's LSU and Florida go play Purdue and Illinois every single week in Iowa, and I'm like, yeah, good Lord.
Rutgers and Wisconsin and the whole Big Ten West, Indiana. Jeez, that would be a fascinating test case if that did play out that way. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say either that or have like a challenge week. I mean, how great would it be this week if all of a sudden Ohio State and Alabama said, "All right, we're meeting in Indianapolis. Like, let's go. Like we want to have one more extra week. Like instead of playing like Toledo and Austin P, you leave a game open late into the season and stuff like that. I would just be incredible.
Or we could just have like a real playoff with
you
enough
can
teams
expand
to
it.
Yeah,
we're waiting for the Rose Bowl.
Right. Hey,
the Rose Bowl, as long as they punch their ticket tomorrow and sign the damn contract, we got a college football playoff in 2024.
Kick them out. I'm sick of them. I don't need them. Just put a game at SoFi if you want a game in LA. Tell the Rose Bowl to kick rocks. Keep your pretty sunset. I don't care. You're holding up progress, and I'm not down with that. Hey, two things before you go. I want to ask you. Literally, Ole Miss just tweeted that Lane Kiffin has signed his extension there. You're laughing. What do you think about Kiffin staying there in Oxford?
I mean, I think that there were a lot of people that were just under the assumption that Auburn was always going like Lane Kiffin wanted probably Auburn, but that Auburn really wanted Lane Kiffin, and I'm not quite sure if that necessarily was the truth. And that they'll massage it however they want. But I like Lane at Ole Miss, man. He's fun there. I think it works for him, and I mean $9.5 million, or whatever it is. God bless him, man. That's awesome.
And then what about Freeze, who was introduced today at Auburn?
I mean, he's beat Saban. Again, I'm conflicted because I'm just like, all right, it's okay hire. It's a good hire, I guess. That's one of the ones where it's weird, right, Matt? Like sometimes I feel like, man, this is a great hire. Like what the hell? But there's so much other ancillary factors there that I'm kind of like, I don't know. I know that's like a really crappy radio answer that I'm supposed to give you like a hot sports to take opinion. I'm kind of like, okay, let's see how this plays out. Like no either good or bad. I mean, how do you think it is?
I think it's a friggin' incredible hire. I mean, Hugh Freeze is a great football coach. He made Ole Miss a power. I mean, at least a threat. Like you give him Auburn's resources, and when I hear some of the names I've heard that he's going to be kicking tires on for his staff, I think he's a problem at Auburn.
Well, I think Auburn understands too. Like, hey, they don't know how long Nick Saban's going to be kicking around in there, and they're like, all right, are we all in? Or are we all in? And I think this is part of it. Like, hey, burn the boats, like Kirby said last year, and we're going to go all in this way. You may not like it, but we're going to go. So I will tell you this: has one individual had more leverage in the history of leverage than Cadillac Williams at Auburn?
Oh, golly.
I mean, I don't know what kind of raise he got or kind of job, but like how imperative it was to keep Caddy on that staff, because I thought he did a damn good job, and I don't think he's ready to be a head coach, but I'm really glad to see that guy be able to stay there at Auburn. I think that was important.
I would agree. He was definitely a glue guy this year. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, look, it's always interesting. We're always interested in what happens in the league, especially when there's coaching changes, because it directly affects LSU. But man, Hugh, I don't know. It seems just ear to ground. I don't know how close you are to it coming out of Auburn that the fan base is sort of conflicted on this hire. I'm stunned by that. Like Hugh Freeze is a great coach who won at Ole Miss. I mean, give him Auburn resources, he's going to win there. Oh, Peter Burns hung up on us. All right, we're done anyway. So got to go to break. Appreciate Peter Burns as always. Peter's with us on behalf of Blue Delta Jeans. You can go to BlueDeltaJeans.com, BlueDeltaJeans.com to get your own Blue Delta jeans. Peter Burns, we appreciate him as always. Okay, quick break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Shea Dixon talking a little LSU Cruton. Tigers have had a couple of defections here in the last week. We'll get to that with Shea in about 30 minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. or onehourbr.com. You can spell it out, O-N-E, onehourbr.com. Look for the big, giant, yellow vans and trucks with a big clock on the side. You see them all over town. I'll keep reminding you about this. You can get that preseason heater safety check. We're into November. We're creeping up on December coming up this weekend. But, man, it's not too late. Before you're kicking on that heater and running it around the clock every day throughout the winter months, make sure that it is clean, it is running efficiently, and most importantly, that it's running safely. River City's 1 Hour Air. They'll give you the preseason heater safety check and they'll save you $30 off the price just for mentioning the Moscona special. Mention the show, they'll save you $30 off that preseason heater safety check at River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, check it out. We got hats. Where's your hat, Muse?
Right here.
Paulie? Paulie, do you ever wear a hat? I don't think I've ever seen you wear a hat.
Very rarely.
And you don't, you're, I'm going to try to say this to where it doesn't sound insulting because I don't mean it that way. It's just an observation. Do you ever do anything with your hair? I have no hair, so I don't style my hair, right? But you have like very thick hair that it looks like it just never moves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have to comb your hair or brush your hair?
I don't have to comb or brush it, but I do put paste in it every morning.
See, isn't that look at like that's what look at Paul? It's like a it's like a Brillo pad,
pretty much.
And again, that is in no way meant to be insulting. You have very thick.
You nailed it.
You have very thick, wonderful hair. I have none, so I cannot in any way criticize anyone's hair at all. I would love to have Paul's Brillo hair. That would be awesome, but I don't. Anyway, but why don't you wear hats?
I don't know.
Okay, awesome, Paul. What I love about Paul so much is how expansive he is.
Yeah.
Like really descriptive.
It depends on the way they fit my head.
It's super perfect for radio. Now that's true. Like how a hat fits does matter. So we haven't had merch forever. Well, Chris Elliott, our ops manager, walked in here like literally as we were doing the show, the set changeover with Hunt and Hunt walking out. Are we just calling the show Hunt?
I think so right now.
Hanging with Hunt?
Yeah. Nah, I can't go hanging with
Yeah,
Hunt,
you can.
right?
That was my suggestion, actually, whenever the when Hill left, was, hey, look, go back to hanging. I mean, we had hanging with Hester. We had hanging with Hester and Hanny. We had hanging with Hanny. And then I think we had another hanging somewhere along there, or maybe not. But
it's just our default when your name begins with an H.
We've had a lot of H's here. So go to hanging with Hunt. I mean, it's until you find out what it's going to be. You can't keep the Hunt and Hill stuff. I mean, Jeremy's not here anymore. Love Jeremy, wish him all the luck in the world. I mean, but it's not a show anymore. So I think you got to go to,
not just Hunt, like Oprah or Ellen.
Not
Hunt.
a bad thought.
I mean, Hunt.
This is Hunt.
This is Hunt. I kind of like that.
I think you need a theme song like Oprah's on, like that. When Oprah was on back in the day.
You could get Voice Guy to do something like that.
I don't think he's singing. Nope.
Okay.
I don't think Voice Guy's singing. But anyway,
I
so we got
say,
hats.
who dat?
Are these for sale?
I don't know the answer to that. I was just handed the hat.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, nice hat. It's a 104.5 ESPN. It's a Richardson 112, the number one selling hat in the world, by the way. I learned that.
Really?
Yeah, the Richardson 112. Look at the sticker on the bill of your hat. Richardson 112, the number one selling hat in the world, is the Richardson 112. Like all the youth leagues, they all use the Richardson 112. That's our Hudco hats, our Richardson 112s. Yep.
I have a couple of those.
Yep. Richardson 112. Great hat. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Love telling you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Get on by for a test drive, y'all. Great gas mileage, style, feel, performance of luxury as we head toward the end of the year. Maybe if you want to make that vehicle purchase, maybe for a business or something you need to write off before the end of the year. Maybe you're just looking to get that new vehicle for the holiday season before the new year starts. Right now, South Point Volkswagen, they have inventory on the lot. You can search by year, make, model, body style, price, all these different criteria. If it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online. Remember, all that great German engineering manufactured right here in the USA at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. It's South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? I don't want to get to Hugh Freeze here in a sec. I'll let you hear from the new Auburn coach who was introduced today. I'm going to give you some thoughts on that. Right now, though, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Auburn Tigers.
We got a lot of them. Well, Hugh Freeze was introduced today, but Cadillac Williams, it was announced, will remain on staff. Hugh Freeze has hired Cadillac Williams with the title of Associate Head Coach. Williams, of course, was 2-2 as the interim, earned $350K last year after his contract was extended through January of 2023, but you better believe he's going to get a significant pay bump after this.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Mark Stoops has fired his OC, Rich Scangarello, after only one season. Scangarello replaced Liam Cohen, who left Kentucky for the same job with the LA Rams. Scangarello's offense struggled this year, the fewest points per game in the SEC at 22.
Texas A&M!
A&M senior wideout Chase Lane announced on social media he's entering the transfer portal as a grad transfer. Had just 7 receptions in 2022. His best season was back in 2020, the COVID year. He was a 3-star member of the 2019 recruiting class.
The Florida Gators.
Sophomore cornerback Avery Helm, who spent the last 3 seasons at Florida, he's entering the transfer portal as well. Former 4-star product out of the Houston area. Helm appeared in 10 of the 12 Gators games this season. 6'1", 170-pound defensive back. He earned a starting job in 2021. He's the 7th Gator to enter the portal.
The Missouri Tigers.
3 more Missouri Tigers. have entered the transfer portal. Among them is quarterback Tyler Macon, who does have a start under center in his Missouri career. Defensive end Travion Ford and cornerback DJ Jackson also. Macon's a former four-star quarterback who played sparingly over the last 2 seasons. Ford and Jackson played sparingly throughout their careers.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas has a couple more jump in the portal as well. Defensive back Kyrie Johnson and defensive end Eric Thomas both made the announcement on social media on Tuesday that they are entering the transfer portal as well.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
And Bama's 2023 recruiting class has grown. They're now at 24 commits. Wide receiver Jaron Hamilton out of Gainesville, Florida, he's a 4-star, has pledged to the Crimson Tide. 6'1", 188, runs a 4.4 40. He picked Alabama over Mississippi State, Michigan, Southern Cal, West Virginia, and Tennessee. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. Almost buzzed you there, Paul. I mean, that went right over your head. I would have left like a big indention right in your Brillo pad. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. As we mentioned, Hugh Freeze was introduced today at Auburn. Here's some of what the new Auburn head coach had to say.
To the Board of Trustees here and President Roberts and Athletic Director Mr. Cohen, Rich McGlynn, Lee Van Horn, all of you guys, getting to know you through this process. I'll say this about our new AD and my boss. This guy will measure it 100 times before he cuts it once now. He is as thorough as anyone I have ever met. And I think we are in great hands with his heart for this place, his toughness, his ability to seek wisdom. And I love that he was a former coach also. But
Ross Dellinger, when he interviewed Hugh Freeze up at Liberty several months back for a feature piece that he wrote, one of the quotes that he had of Freeze was, "With anybody, I made sure they knew that if I hurt them, I was sorry, but it's time to move on. How many times can we write about it? How many times can we talk about it? I said I was wrong. I've paid a price. My family paid a heck of a price." That was a Hugh Freeze quote from a interview he did with Ross Dellinger several months ago, and it's very true. And Hugh Freeze will have to own that wherever he goes. And in this business, if you can coach and you can win, you will get second chances. Bobby Petrino got a second chance after his motorcycle incident. It's just the nature of how things work. If you're elite at what you do, and what you do is rare, you're going to get more opportunities. And to his credit, Hugh Freeze went the path less traveled. I mean, he was out of coaching and then went to Liberty and built that thing to a level it hadn't been, and now has this opportunity because he's a great football coach. And I'm quite honestly so surprised that there are factions of the Auburn fan base that are not good with this hire. I know a lot of them had their hearts set on Lane Kiffin, but as a head football coach, it is not even comparable, the level of success that Hugh Freeze has had compared to the level of success relative with Lane Kiffin. I mean, if you look at Hugh Freeze's seasons as a head coach, he has one losing season as a head coach. All time, one losing season. At Lambeth, he went 8-4, then 12-1. At Arkansas State, he was there for one season. He went 10-2. His first season at Ole Miss, well, they had a lot of wins and all vacated, but he finished 5th in the West that first year, ended up finishing 2nd in the West in 2015, won the Sugar Bowl. They also played the Peach Bowl, so back-to-back New Year's 6 games in 2014-15, back-to-back years that they beat Alabama. My goodness, then Liberty went 8-10, 8-8. I mean, the guy can flat-out coach. He can flat-out coach, and he's going to win at Auburn. And I would have loved to have seen Auburn make a silly hire that's going to keep that program in the doldrums, in the basement of the SEC West. But boy, Hugh Freeze at Auburn's scary. Just like when I remember we were in Atlanta for the SEC championship in 2019, sitting at dinner. Our whole staff went to dinner, And I got a text from my buddy Neil McCready from Rebel Grove, and he was like, it looks like the Lane Kiffin thing's going to happen. So I'm trying to get a lot of opinions from people around the conference about Lane, what your opinion would be of the hire. And I was like, that's a terrifying hire if you're LSU, because you want Ole Miss to be a doormat. But Lane Kiffin is the type of hire that'll bring attention and energy, progressive offensive mindset. Like, he will recruit like he's a home run. He is the best Ole Miss can do. And I feel the same way about Auburn with this Hugh Freeze hire. This guy knows how to win in the SEC, and he's going to be given a ton of resources. So Hugh Freeze today introduces new head coach of the Auburn Tigers. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number one. I want to catch up. There was Peter Burns, if you were here about 15 minutes ago, mentioned it. The Rose Bowl has basically been given an ultimatum as far as the future of the college football playoff. We'll explain next, and Shea Dixon's here in about 15 minutes. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
Raving fan? That's me. Darren James, if you were looking to buy or sell a home, one call you have to make. Darren James. I'll give you a cell. 335-7666. 335-7666. 335-7666 or agent225.com. When you talk to Darren James, it's amazing. He's literally told me in the past he wants to make the home selling process so easy, so streamlined that he literally puts himself out of business. And when that's your goal every day, to make that process so easy for the consumer, for the seller, and that's your focus, that's how you end up on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. Darren's helped me buy 2 homes. He sold one of my homes, and he can help you as well. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime. Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
You can always text the show, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Shout out K-Trice. I'd missed this one. In the open of the show, we talked about how LSU is... a 17.5-point underdog to Georgia. The largest spread in SEC championship game history was 24.5. That was 1995. Florida was favored over Arkansas by 24.5. And I'd missed this one. Bama in 2016 was favored by 24 over Florida in that year as well. So thank you for the correction. So twice there has been a larger spread in the SEC championship game than this week with LSU 17.5-point dog against Georgia. So appreciate that. Always appreciate texts, emails, tweets. Y'all fire away. Twitter's at Matt Moscona. All right. The Rose Bowl has been given a deadline, an ultimatum maybe as it is. Described to the college, to ESPN, not as a threat, but certainly as a deadline and an ultimatum. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the Rose Bowl has to make a decision. If you're not familiar with what's been happening here, the college football playoff all the conference commissioners and Notre Dame athletic director Jack Swarbrick voted to expand the college football playoff to 12. And it would happen for the 2026 season unless everyone unanimously agreed. That's the conference commissioners, that's the TV partners, that's the Bulls, that's everybody. Unless they all unanimously agree to tear up that contract and start it in 2024. So 2 years early. So after next season. And the only remaining hiccup is the Rose Bowl. Because the Rose Bowl does not want to move off of their January 1st, 2 p.m. Pacific kickoff time and TV window. They want to have their parade and go right into the game. And the problem is if the Rose Bowl holds this thing up, college football collectively would lose about $450 million in gross revenue. The projected gross revenue from an expanded playoff over those 2 years, it would essentially lop off $500 million that college football would collectively share. That's the bowls, the TV partners, the conferences, of course, the schools, the athletic departments. So everyone right now is looking at the Rose Bowl going, you mean to tell me there's $500 million on the line? Everybody is on board with expanding this playoff early. But the one holdup is your parade and pretty sunset? Like how college football determines its champion. Understand this. To all the people who I've heard forever and ever and ever say, well, the regular season it's the most important regular season of the tradition of the Bulls. Understand the way our beloved sport decides its champion is being held up right now because of a parade and a view over the mountains. Y'all, this is bat bleep crazy. I don't care how ardent a supporter you are. I don't care if on New Year's Day you love watching the Rose Bowl and the pageantry and all that stuff. None of that is as important as how you crown your champion. None of it. And I'm telling you right now, the Rose Bowl can kick rocks. Because if this doesn't happen and the playoff doesn't expand, and the Rose Bowl wants to be part of it and all, but they just, even when they are a semifinal game, they want to be January 1st at 2 p.m. Pacific. They want to be in that window even when they're a semifinal game. And the collective of college football is saying, we can't guarantee you that. And so my hope is in the next cycle, if they can't get this done for 2024 and it's put off to 2026, the Rose Bowl is not included. Because you can't allow the collective of college football, everyone, every player, every coach, every fan, every school, athletic department, TV partner, conference, you cannot let everyone involved in college football be held hostage by one game. So this is real easy. Tell the Rose Bowl, enjoy your parade, enjoy your pretty sunset, figure out however you want to get your teams in the game, but we're going to go do our playoff. And it's real easy. Create a game at SoFi in LA. Bring in the Las Vegas Bowl. Bring in any number of games that would be salivating over the opportunity to be a part of this playoff that would dramatically improve their facility, amenities, everything, the way the Cotton Bowl did to be included. Take back control. The Rose Bowl does not matter. College football will survive. It will thrive and be great, even without that dumpy stadium in the pretty view. We'll know tomorrow where the Rose Bowl stands. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Come back. Shea Dixon is joining us right after the top of the hour. You got recruiting questions, fire away. Shea Dixon coming up after SportsCenter.
AFR.
I love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center, mostly because I know how the Williamson Eye Center changed my life. And I'm not into hyperbole, and that's not what I'm talking about here. What I mean is literally when I wake up in the morning and I can see. At night, I don't have to go dig contact lens out of my eyes and put them into cases and then put on old glasses, which prescription's like 10 years too old, and I can't see with them anyway. I'm talking about whenever you travel. I don't have to pack extra contacts or cases or solution or hope that a lens doesn't rip so I can see. I don't have to worry about that when I travel, when I swim or anything like that. I can just see. LASIK is life-changing. It has been for me, and it can be for you. Go for that consultation. Call the Williamson Eye Center today. If you've been talking about it, thinking about it, you've heard me talk about it, and you've been on the fence, just make that call. Make the decision to begin the process today. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com.
3 people walk into a bar. The first 2 order the same old marks. The third, Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and a crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
I'm Chris Nakamoto. Here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. Fallout is growing at the West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office after an employee confessed to stealing but remains on the payroll. Employees there say anyone else would have been fired. $150,000 is missing, and a longtime employee, Mandy Miller, is on paid leave after sources say she admitted to stealing. There are new details tonight pertaining to the investigation. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit.
Let's go, defense!
We get it done with passion for our fans and love for our community. We are the Tigers. Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The United States beat Iran 1-0, got the win it needed to advance to the round of 16 at the World Cup. Only goal of the match scored by Christian Pulisic. U.S. Soccer said he suffered an abdominal injury in the match and he was taken to the hospital for scans. The U.S. faces Netherlands on Saturday. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers telling the Pat McAfee Show he plans on playing Sunday against the Bears after getting positive test results on his rib injury. The final decision will be up to Rodgers as opposed to coach Matt LaFleur, believes ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Buddy, you have zero control over anything that Aaron Rodgers is going to do. If Aaron Rodgers walks in that damn facility today and say, I'm playing with a punctured lung, Matt LaFleur ain't got no say-so as far as playing Jordan Love and keeping Aaron Rodgers off the football field. We have watched this movie play for 2 years.
Marcus Spears on Get Up. NBA Timberwolves All-Star forward Karl Anthony Towns expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a right calf strain, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Team does expect him to return at some point in January.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Talk to Sean Salisbury 1 hour from right now. LSU in the past couple of weeks has lost a couple of commits for the 2023 class, both on the defensive line. They've gained a commit for 2025. Love talking recruiting with Shea Dixon from On3 Sports and co-host with me and Cobble on Sports Takeover Tuesday nights on WBRZ+. You can check that out tonight at about 6:30. Shea, how are you, man?
I like how you teased our very last one of the year.
How about that? Well, we are going to have a bowl. We will have a bowl edition at some point. But yeah, I mean, how many times have you been on with me on Tuesdays after we did the show?
Or any day. I'm not going to push it. We have fun while we're there.
No. There's Shea, of all the recruiting guests in the history of AFR, far and away, I mean, you are the guy, right? I mean, that's not even debatable.
Where are we going with this? Am I getting set up here?
No, you were just like, it just felt like you said like, oh, or any day that you're on the show. Like it was like you were taking a shot that I don't have you on the show enough.
Oh, no. I meant that anytime I was on the show, you could have said something about our hangout on TV. We had fun on TV.
No, that's a good point. Okay. All right, Shea, let's first start with the 2 decommits because it's got a lot of people a little antsy, right? I mean, you have this great season and now 2 defensive linemen jump ship. Let's take them one at a time. Maybe start with Darren Reed.
Yeah. Well, look, and in fact, we'll start with Mickens because I think we'll talk more about Reed here because I want to hear your thoughts. Mickens is from Indianapolis. Brian Kelly and Brian Polian have both been recruiting him at Notre Dame, so they already knew him and got him on board, top 100 guy. From Indianapolis, a couple hours, interstate right down the highway to Ohio State's campus. In the past year, I think you're coupling geography, the reality that about a month ago or 2 weeks ago Ohio State offered, with also just some personal stuff. His father passed away in the past year, and I think if he had the opportunity to be home at a big-time school, he was going to take it, and got the Ohio State offer and official visited this past weekend, and has not flipped, but opened things back up and wrote a kind of a nice post on his social media about thanking the LSU fans and Brian Kelly and Polian for recruiting him. But all expectations are he goes to Ohio State, and I don't think there was anything LSU could have done about that. The Deron Reed one is interesting, and I'll ask you this, Matt, and it's okay to talk about NIL now and publicly, and schools are pushing for it, and that was part of Deron Reed making a move into Auburn's class. He does it on Friday before they even have a coach. They don't even have a staff.
Said it on Friday. It's always pretty odd when a guy flips to a school that doesn't even have a head coach. So obviously you knew NIL or something else was at play there, no doubt.
So, yes. But now, again, he's from Georgia. Then again, it's right across the state line. I think he's about 30 to 40 minutes from their campus. So he had been around a lot, and I think they're trying to right now make a splash. I'm watching them do it with Bama's commitments, doing it with Georgia's commitments, trying to make a splash on, hey, how do we come out of the gates with a little bit of mojo between a hire and maybe landing some kids that were not expected to go here around signing, coming up with the lead up to signing day, and all of a sudden Auburn surging into the fold. So it'll be something to watch. And I've said this before, people, if you're listening and you just hear NIL, you think, well, then if Auburn was going to pay him some, then why can't LSU do the same? I think LSU's NIL approach, for me at least, and from talking to people around the industry, is similar to Bama's and Ohio State and Kirby Smart at Georgia, where once you get onto campus, you've got a lot of opportunities kind of at your fingertips to explore, not so much as what some people would accuse, and I'm not saying this, I'm just saying how the rhetoric will go, is like a pay-for-play, which is what they want to avoid. Some heavy investment on the front end just to land a kid, and I think we saw A&M do that, and I think, got criticized by Saban and others, and I'm not going to be surprised if Auburn is the team that people sort of circle this cycle as, hey, they were the ones that tried to come out and make a big splash right away.
Are you noticing any type of shift in behavior on the NIL front a year and a half in?
In terms of recruits?
Yeah.
Some. Yeah. And look, people are going to also say, well, this kind of stuff has been around forever. It was just under the table. Okay, fair. Well, it also, now that it's above the table, it's illegal, and you've got all these options, then, yeah, I think some kids are trying to explore what that means, and you hear all these rumors about what this kid's making and this kid's making, and I think behind the scenes, some of these kids have a better grip of, okay, some of this is kind of fantasy land, throwing around numbers, and here's the reality of what's at play. But, yeah, I do think some kids are looking at how does NIL come into play if I'm going to this school or that school or, another. But I still think the percentage is small of kids who are just going to commit somewhere because they have some great NIL deal for them. Like, I don't think we're not to the point at the tipping point where that's like the driving factor of all these recruits' decisions, or far from it in my mind.
LSU did get a commit for 2025, Shea. What can you tell us about cornerback Jalen Bell?
Yeah, it's a long way away.
Right.
We're talking about 2023 right now. Now we're getting into the 2025 class. This is a kid who, out of Grayson, which Grayson, for those familiar with Georgia high school football, it's excellent high school football per capita. They're one of the best states, kind of even right above Louisiana, in terms of kind of who's available every year. And Grayson is one of the best high schools. LSU now has a commitment who's a senior at Grayson, a junior at Grayson, and a sophomore at Grayson. So a bit of a pipeline there. And it's a school that Georgia recruits well. Tennessee always recruits Grayson kids. So you like to be in there. Bell, look, he's a sophomore in high school, so he's got so much time left to develop his game and everything like that. I think early on they've got him ranked as a top 10 corner nationally, number 6 corner in the country on the On3 consensus. But again, far time away. He was their first 2025 commitment. So a little bit of work being done to the future, the future of the future, even further along than just next year's class.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Shea, I want to talk about LSU's class here in a bit. But the other sort of very, very notable thing is that the transfer portal opens, on the 5th. So that's next Monday. Are we expecting a lot of movement from LSU as far as current players entering the portal?
I mean, I would think so. I would think anywhere from 8 to 10 guys, maybe. And I don't think it's any of your starters. You know, I don't think we're in a situation like that. I think what LSU is going to experience right now is very much what the portal's designed for, which is some guys who might be older in their careers. Look, you can take a look at who participated in senior night, Cam Wire and Mike Jones, two guys who have eligibility left. They started in the very first week. They weren't starters by the end of the year. It's only fair if those guys are not going to play next year that they can go play somewhere else. And I don't know for sure that's what both those guys are doing. I'm just using it as an example. But there's going to be some backups, I think, in a number of positions. O-line actually has a lot of guys, and they really leaned on like 6 or 7 of them this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some in that group. So I would anticipate, knock on wood for you LSU fans, I don't think it's anybody that's starting for you that all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I didn't see that one coming. You know, a lot of people did that with Keyshawn Boutte a year ago, all of that. I don't think any of that's coming. I think it'll just be more guys looking for playing time at other spots, which kind of just you file it under natural attrition, which is something you plan for.
Yeah, I think you're right with offensive line for sure. Bigger question might be also where does LSU look into the portal to supplement a class which currently has 23 commitments?
Well, I mean, I think position-wise, for me, last year, the biggest worry was corner, and they had to go to the portal and get all of their starters. I mean, Mekhi Garner, Converse, Richardson, Banks, who got injured, obviously, Greg Brooks, who played a lot of nickel for him. Everyone was a transfer. But the good thing this year was that you could lean on them. They were all really experienced guys. The bad part about that is they have no eligibility left, or they're going pro, and probably in Mekhi Garner's case. So I almost feel like they have to do it all over again. And I had thought that last year. I said, look, this is probably a multi-year rebuild if this is what the approach they're going to take in terms of taking a bunch of veterans, and there was nothing wrong with that. It's going to be a multi-year rebuild. So corner, I know people talk about D-tackle. They recently lost a defensive tackle commitment in Jerron Reed, which we talked about. So that could be a spot you're looking at, especially if you lose to Quellen Roy. And I know you get Mason Smith back. That's massive.
Sure.
But still think that's a spot you watch for. And maybe tight end. Look, if they want to buy, I don't knock at all what, Kelly and Denbrock. These guys have great success with tight ends. You look back even with Kelly at Cincinnati when he had Kelsey there. I mean, there's a long history of having good tight ends. But if they really want to go full into that offense, the Denbrock offense, which that's what they want to do, so be it. You need more tight ends. You can't keep rolling with, what they've got, which is essentially a couple walk-ons and then 2 scholarship players. So I won't be surprised if they try to get to the portal. In fact, I'll say this, Matt, they only have 1 offer out in the portal right now, and it's to a tight end. So that's a priority spot.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon, of course, on 3 Sports, the Bengal Tiger. Let's talk numbers, Shea. And we know the hard cap's gone. So for those that don't know, that means you're not capped to 25 anymore. You can sign as many players as you want. You just can't go over the 85 on your roster. So they're at 23 right now. Shea, how many more high school prospects are you anticipating them taking in this class?
I think somewhere around 5 is probably right. I mean, when you're above 20, the bulk of your high school class is done. So if they were at 25, now being at 23, I think they've got enough guys still out there. If you say maybe they've got about 10, 11, 12 guys that they've still got offers to who might be uncommitted or committed or potentially could get an offer late, that you kind of cut that group in half and just assume they might get, around 4 or 5 more guys. And we'll see if that number goes up by a little. Then that's fine. They're in comfortable scholarship shape, and we don't even know who's going pro or transferring out yet. So I don't think they're going to be in too much of a numbers crunch here. I think more so they'll be in a spot come spring where they can still add guys through the portal after, when you get into that second window.
That's a great point. And I think sometimes which is lost is remember, like, you can add players. I mean, Joe Burrow didn't show up here until May. So, like, you can still add guys even after spring if you need to. But if they take 5 more high school players, that would put them around 28. How many players via the portal? What was the number last year, Shea? 19? How many would you...
It depends. 16 to 19. It depends on who really came through. Like Greg Clayton and them, I think they were preferred walk-ons, but they were transfers. So, it's in that 16 to 20 range.
So how many? It's not going to be that many, but how many this year?
No. 10 or so. I honestly think that when the dust settles, it will be as many guys as leave the team. Like, for the portal. So however many guys that go into the portal, it's not a one-for-one thing where they have to sit around and wait for some guy to enter and then they get to replace him. But I think ultimately the numbers will look similar, that it could be around, 8 to 10 guys, and that's about how many they probably would lose from the team into the portal. So it kind of evens itself out.
And last thing for you, Shea, and I'm not sure if I talked about this yesterday. I'm not sure if you've given this any thought, but if Jaden Daniels does leave, do you think they would look to add a veteran quarterback for experience depth through the portal?
Well, I can't say no, because I could argue that they had more experience at this time last year if that were the case, and they went and got Jaden Daniels. So probably, but I don't know. That has not crossed my mind, just because I'm not under, I'm not thinking that Jaden will go pro or leave or any of that. But I don't know. That's intriguing. Would I be wrong in saying that? Did they pre-Jaden and post-Jaden right now, which group had more experience? Which one would you have felt better about?
Well, I mean, Brennan was a fifth-year guy, right? Or then a sixth-year
guy. And had played before.
And had played, yeah. I mean, right now, Nussmeier is your most experienced quarterback, who's played in 9 games total with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So, I mean, Shea, this is kind of the example I gave. If you look back to 2018, right, you had McMillan, Narcisse, Brennan. Well, right now, you've got Nussmeier, Howard, Ricky Collins. And they went and added, obviously, Burrow and became the greatest player in the history of the program. I just look at it like, man, if you have the option to add veteran depth and experience, why wouldn't you? I mean, the system's set up to do it.
Now, for the people who just tuned in, before you led with that caveat of if Jaden goes pro, you do not anticipate, right? I think Jaden will be back on the team next year.
I honestly have no idea. All I know.
Well, I don't know either. I'm just presuming.
All I know, Shea, is when Jaden, I've said this plenty of times on air, so I'm not saying anything I haven't said before. When Jaden committed to LSU or signed with LSU, I talked to plenty of people who covered him in high school and then at Arizona State, and the idea was always that he was going to be 3 into the league. COVID and a messy situation at Arizona State kind of derailed that, and he flirted with the draft last year, Shea. So it wouldn't surprise me if a guy who thought he was going to be 3 and done after his 4th year says, I'm just going to go take my shot at being a pro. But I have no insight. I would love to see him come back. I mean, to have a 5th-year guy, 2nd year here with this offense, with these coaches, with these players, I'd love to see him come back another year.
One thing I am curious of is how much NIL can get guys who are already on your team and debating to go to the NFL as a fringe guy or not back on your roster. Yeah. That's something people haven't talked about yet. I think when people think NIL, they just think recruiting high school kids. NIL's in play for the kids on the team right now, too. I'm curious if that comes into factor with some of these guys who are on the kind of the borderline of do you go pro or stay.
I think that will certainly be a thing for some people, but you know this as well as I do, Shea. Some guys just want to go pro. They're just ready to go start their pro career. And when that's the case, that's just what it is. So some interesting decisions as this roster for year 2 under Brian Kelly will really start to round into form starting next week when the portal opens. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Shea Dixon, of course, on 3 Sports, on 3 The Bengal Tiger, and Shea, Michael Cobble, and I tonight on Sports Takeover on WBRZ+. So look for us there as well. All right, Shea, we appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on, Matt.
All right, man. Be well. It's after further review. Quick break. We'll talk to Lee Feinswog next. AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Thanksgiving has passed, but Christmas is right around the corner. And we're not just talking about your Christmas Eve or Christmas Day meals, but any holiday party you may be having. If it's a work party or maybe having family over, the extended family over. We always host my wife's whole extended family for their family Christmas at our house in December. You can leave the fuss to us with Rouse's. Let them handle your entire holiday meal. Turkey, ham, all the sides, they can do it for you. Just go to the website, rouses.com, and you'll see right there, leave the fuss to us, holiday dinners on the homepage. And you can see all of their holiday catering options. From your main courses to all your sides, including the dinner rolls and everything, they got you covered at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Locations all over Louisiana. Find the one nearest you online at rouses.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
My dad just really enjoyed his life, and he enjoyed smoking cigars and thought he was invincible. My stepdad quit smoking, and he really felt like he was in the clear. Sorry. I wish they would have been screened annually. It's not just you affect, it's your entire family.
For more information on Ochsner's free smoking cessation program and to see if you qualify for early lung screenings, visit ochsner.org/quit.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
All right, let's say ah.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Lee, how are you, man?
You had to think about who it was for a second. Huh?
No, I knew it was. I was just drawing out the lead.
I'm ignoring your note because you're going all Olympic sports right now. You have to. I mean, the USA just beat Iran in the World Cup to advance. One of the great goals, great efforts. It's so exciting. And even though you love soccer and don't like to talk about it much on the air, I'm doing you the favor of throwing it out there for you. Great day for American soccer. Great day.
So I love America. So if something is painted red, white, and blue and we can wrap ourselves in the flag, I want the USA to whip anybody's ass. So I'm glad we beat Iran. I didn't watch a minute of it, haven't watched a minute of the World Cup. I normally, when it's in the summer, will find a way to watch the U.S. matches casually. But, man, in the middle of the day, LSU's getting ready to play Georgia in the SEC championship game. I just can't justify stealing time in the middle of my day this week to watch soccer.
Not in your job, but for me, I just blocked off everything for a 1 o'clock start and watched it. Matt, this goes back for people like me who have been soccer fans a really long time, and in my case, well over 50 years. I would say damn near 60 years. It means a lot because we love the sport. We love American teams that want us to do well. And it's been remarkably frustrating. I mean, I personally played for a lot of years. My daughter played in college. The game is important to me, always has been. And there's a lot about it that I don't like. I can't stand the fake injuries and the foreigners all whining and all that stuff. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But, like this new USA team is so refreshing to watch. They're young kids that get after it. They're like a fast break offense in basketball or a football team that goes all out all the time and thinks long every time they can. It's just so much fun. They're just wonderful to watch and smart. Play the game the right way. Okay. There you go.
Make the point.
All right.
Get to the point.
It's just great. It's just great. They won. They play Saturday now against the Netherlands in the round of 16.
And Saturday, I'll be in Atlanta doing pre and post for LSU, covering the game, having a good time. I will not watch a minute of it. What time do they play Saturday?
No. 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, where you'll be.
8 a.m.?
So, 8 a.m. Yeah.
No shot. No shot. I'll watch a second of that. You've got to be kidding me.
No, I know you won't. I know you won't. No,
well, I guess it'll be 9
won't.
Eastern. 9 Eastern.
Right. And I get that. And I'm just, I don't know what to tell you.
You know the worst part about whenever, like when we go to SEC Media Days when they have it in Atlanta or like this, is AFR, we're still 3 to 6 Central, but it's 4 to 7 Eastern. So like you finish at 7, you finish the show at 7 p.m. So
it messes up your dinner, your sleep, everything.
All of it.
Yeah.
It really does. Because you think about it, by the time you break everything down, you get back to the hotel, like freshen up, whatever you want to go to dinner, it's like 8:30. I mean, I'm not trying to be grandpa here, but like I normally eat at a regular hour. Like I finish the show at 6. I go home, eat dinner about 6:30, 6:45, and then, go about my night. So, a little weird. A little weird when we do that.
I had a week 2 weeks ago, Matt, where I left San Diego at 6 in the morning on a flight from there to Atlanta, so West Coast to East Coast. And then I had a real late night in Atlanta and a real early morning flight the next day back to Baton Rouge. So it's 3 time zones in around 30 hours. And I'd be lying to you if I said I had a normal sleep pattern for a few days.
Yeah, I can understand that happens. Larry Feinstein's with us here. He's the host of Sports Monday.
Stop it. Hey, can I just geek out on you on Olympic sports while we're at it?
I mean, you're going to do what you want anyway, so sure.
Well, you got that. So, dingers, are you ding boys ready? They're never not ready.
Well, no, he's probably not ready, but we'll make. He's he's looking at his phone right now. I don't even think he's listening.
The LSU volleyball team made it back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2017.
All right.
Goes to Stanford for a first round regional and plays Hawaii. And the MVP of the Hawaii team in the Big West is Amber Ajiti, who's from Baton Rouge.
Why did she go to Hawaii?
St. Michael. She had a great opportunity there. She's the MVP of that league and a St. Michael graduate. She's a fantastic player, a wonderful person. And my boy Rob Smith, the coach at St. Michael, has 2 players in the NCAA tournament. Lexi Rodriguez plays for Southeastern, and they made it for the first time ever.
There you go, Paulie. That's back-to-back days now. We've had Southeastern mentions on the show because one of Paulie's college football takeaways was Southeastern beat Idaho. That's right. My brother-in-law went to Idaho. That's true. Yeah, so it was weird. Nobody cares about any of that.
Really
okay.
I know.
He's Lee Feinswog, who's with us here. Do you think LSU has now to things that people care about? Do you think LSU has a shot to beat Georgia on Saturday?
I would have thought so if they'd gone in and taken care of business against Texas A&M, but it was awful. I mean, if there was ever an event where you'd go, boy, there's a reason not to bet on sports, right? I mean, you just couldn't pick that. But the one thing that you and I have talked about, and I'm sure you talked about this with everybody the whole way, is how critical Jaden Daniels is to LSU and how he's had such a fantastic season, led them in every respect, every way. And he just was just okay. He was under a lot of pressure, didn't do well, and Texas A&M was due too, right? I mean, they've been the story on the other side of the coin, where LSU probably has just astounded everyone. Texas A&M, you could never have imagined was going to be this bad. So it's probably the perfect storm.
Yeah, I didn't think A&M would be 5-7.
No.
I mean, I thought they would be 7-5, 8-4. I mean, I thought the whole SEC West was going to be a big hodgepodge of 4-4, 5-3, and it was really just going to come down to tiebreakers. I thought Bama would win the West going away, but man,
right?
But it's
and then go ahead. I'm sorry.
It speaks to the job Brian Kelly's done.
Yeah, no doubt. And we talked about that last week too, the powers of mental concentration that they've had all year, being down, no problem. But this was a theoretical aberration. They can come back this Saturday and prove otherwise. Yeah. I think Georgia's better, stronger, 17 points better probably, somewhere in the 38-21 range, something like that.
34-17,
Yeah, but after last weekend, I mean, if LSU just got steamrolled, I wouldn't be surprised. Georgia's really good. Does a lot of things well.
Yeah.
But, there's such a fine line for LSU. That 1-point loss, and then to still be in that situation, and the last weekend of the regular season was truly amazing. And then, there's no tactful way to put what happened to them last week. And it happens in sports. It just does. Yeah. Teams underperform.
It just came, like we say it every year, like through the course of a season, every team is going to play their best game and their worst game. Like that's just like you will look at the end of the season, okay, that was your best game and that was your worst game. And you hope your best game comes against a really good team. And it did for LSU. It came against Alabama. They played their best game against Alabama and they won. And it just so happens that their worst game came on the road against a 4-win team and that popped them. So it's a bummer, man. It's really a bummer because a lot that they would have been playing for, has been taken away. But the flip side of it is we've talked about here, I mean, LSU gets to go to Atlanta and play for the SEC championship, which is
absolutely a chance to still just have a season that no one expected and something for the Kelly and his staff to build on. Do you think LSU played bad against Tennessee, or was Tennessee just so good that day?
I think both. But I think Tennessee's offense was a matchup problem for LSU. But fumbling the opening kickoff and some of the decisions Brian Kelly made, you're going forward on 4th down, sort of chasing points early, I think never really allowed that snowball to keep rolling downhill and never really allowed LSU to just steady the momentum of the game. So LSU played worse against Texas A&M than they did against Tennessee. But Tennessee was just a really better football team at the time. So all right, before we talk about beer, are you ready to kick the Rose Bowl to the curb for being a bunch of namby-pambies who are holding up all of college football?
Absolutely. The Rose Bowl's been a pain in the ass since day one.
Yeah!
And I'll go
agree on something. What? No, this is great.
I thought the Rose Bowl was a pain in the ass back when I was following USA Soccer, Matt. That's how far back it goes, how big a pain in the ass they are. No, but there's no reason to let them hold everybody hostage. And, just go to 16 teams. Just do it. Don't do the 12 teams where 4 teams get a bye. There's a flaw in the system if everybody doesn't play the same. Do you realize it could happen again where Alabama could not go to the SEC championship game, play one less game without getting injured and stressing itself, and then winning a bid to the top 4?
Yeah,
that happened, and that's just wrong.
I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen though.
Well, if we're going to end up with 4 conferences, then the playoffs begin from with their playoffs and get those 16 teams in there and play 3 rounds and make it and on and on.
I'm with you.
But yeah, the Rose Bowl. Just who the hell do you think you are?
I know. Just have your parade, have your game at 2:00. And we'll go have a great college football postseason that doesn't include you because we're good either way.
I've only been to Pasadena one time, and it wasn't to the Rose Bowl.
What did you go to Pasadena for?
Remember when I was writing the book Hoop Daddy about father, sons, and basketball?
Yeah.
Bill Walton said the best place for us to meet is I'm going to be doing a commercial for Nike up in Pasadena. So he had a trailer. And we went there and hung out all day with Bill. It was catered. And in between takes of stuff, I would do interviews with him. Brenda was with me. We had a ball. We just sat there. And Bill is incredible. He'd talk about so many different things and occasionally about what I needed for the book. It was way cool. And it was a different world. There was one guy whose job, as best I could understand, was they'd be all set to shoot a take, and the director would yell, "Quiet on the set." And this one guy who did nothing else I ever saw would turn to everybody and go, "All right, quiet on the set." Put his hands out. I never saw him do anything else. He probably made a lot of money that day.
Probably made a lot of money. Money on which he could spend.
Oh,
beer.
Oh, what is the multiverse? What gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, but I'd rather chug it. Beer. Got my belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. I could really use a beer. Beer.
Take it away.
Well, Matt, this is one time I want you to share in the review because my beer is Faubourg's Beignet Olay Imperial Blonde.
Yes.
And you had it, and of course you didn't review it last week, but I said, I can't believe you said that because you stole my beer for next week. And, you know, in the game notes, it's, by the way, 7% alcohol, an Imperial Blonde Ale. Beignet Olay is a smooth Imperial Blonde Ale inspired by the classic Crescent City pairing of fluffy beignets with Café Olay, crafted with Pilsner and Vienna malts and Cascade hops. Beignet Olay has a soft, malty sweetness. The addition of local cold brew coffee. How about that? 2 weeks in a row with coffee beer. Vanilla flavor and lactose gives this medium-bodied ale the rich mouthfeel you'd expect in this tribute to New Orleans' most versatile anytime treat. And it's a European Beer Star winner. Who would have known that? A Beer Star winner. But you had it, and I've had it too, but this is a great opportunity for you to say what you thought of it.
Shout out to Katie Viator from Faubourg, we say Faubourg or Faubourg? I'm going to say Faubourg.
Not going there. I said Faubourg.
Sometimes I'll go eat dinner. I love Burgersmith. Great spot. And they were having a Faubourg, like, pint night there. You know, they were on site. Talked to Katie, and she told me about Beignet Olay. Tried it. Loved it. It is a delicious beer. I mean, it is a treat. I went and bought a 6-pack. I actually hoarded them for a time last year because it's a limited release. That's how good it is. It's a very good beer. But I have to warn you, there is coffee in the beer. So,
he said that last week.
So I think the first time I had like 4 of them, and brother, I was wired. I mean, I couldn't sleep. So just keep in mind, if you're going to drink Beignet Olay, it's wonderful, but it has coffee in it. Okay, so like it has a lot of caffeine in there, man. Be mindful. That's not just a cute name. There is coffee in that beer. But it's
great.
wonderful. I give it my highest recommendation. It's a great beer.
That's great. Matt, I always have so much fun on Tuesdays. I'm so glad when I get to be home and do it with you. And, of course, you know where I'll be next Tuesday.
No, I don't.
Just ding it up. The NCAA Volleyball Championships in Omaha, Nebraska.
Well,
so
we wish you all the luck and all your volleyball glory there, Lee. Knock it out the park.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Or spike it over the net. How about that?
And remind people to watch Sports 225 on your view. Go to sports225.com for all the show listings and information. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lee.
Bye, Matt.
It's AFR.
AFR.
Tuesday show is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. There's been a little bit of a run lately. I tell you all the time that I get messages from people, hey, what's the name of the insurance company? And a buddy of mine, Butch, sent me a text earlier today and said, what's the name of the insurance people you talk about? Got confused when I tried to look it up on the web. So maybe they just need a better name. But at this point, I don't think they're changing it. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call them right now. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. Adam, Jay, great dudes over there. Carl, great staff. They do an awesome job, and they become essentially your agent. They are my agent. I had State Farm for years. Didn't even know I was overpaying. Insurance Network of Louisiana shopped, saved me $1,600 annually, quadrupled my coverage. Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call them right now. 293-0450, 293-0450.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Those are the type of games that we relish. Guys are out and we believe in each other. Guys had opportunities to play more minutes. Some guys that don't play a ton had an opportunity to play. And, we went into practice and went into shoot around with the mindset that we were coming in and try to take away some things that they do well, which is points in the paint. So proud of our guys, proud of the effort, and just big time win on our home floor.
Merry Christmas, Muse.
Merry Christmas, Matt.
Paulie. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
It's a beautiful Christmas day. We're getting close to the point where we won't have to do this anymore.
That's true.
That's true. We still got another month.
We got a few more games.
We got a month. Pellies beat the Thunder 105-101. They do so shorthanded as well. Give me grab! Give him to me all
Intercepted Williamson. Zion, bounce feed to Trey. Angry two-hand flush. His third of the night.
Oh, man. Shorthanded, too.
Yeah, man. No CJ.
No BI.
No BI.
And still got it done, man. Loving this team, man. I'm loving the depth on this team. Here was Willie Green after the game talking about the night that Zion had, considering no CJ or BI.
I thought he handled it well. You can see by his assist number, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. He was patient. He had moments where he knew he could get to the basket with his speed, his force, his quickness. Then he had moments that he just kicked it out and trusted his teammates. That's what our team is about. We had to dig down tonight with guys being out and pull out a win. And we're all super proud of our guys for the effort tonight.
23 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal for Big Z. Give me grab!
You're back down again, 101-100. He's got a double-double. Now Zion. Lay it in! Count the bucket! After a spin move! Dort thought he took a charge. Instead, it's an N1.
Give me the Herb call. Give it time. I haven't heard it yet. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Game clock at 5. SGA drives with the left hand, and Herb took it. Blocking Fowler charge. It's a charge. It's a charge. Herb Jones stood his ground. Gilgeous-Alexander plowed into him. Oh, I had to hold my breath.
What a beautiful man. We changed it too. It's not Graf. It's Graf and JD.
Yeah, well, JD wasn't there last night, though.
Oh.
Yeah, no JD last night. Just Graf. Just Graf.
You got any more Graf?
Oh, absolutely.
Give me some Graf. Give me Graf.
Right side, kick it to Herb. Extra pass, Trey. Straightaway 3, you need it. And you got it! Oh, you needed it! High arcing and down. Biggest bucket of the ball game.
Oh, man, he's beautiful.
12-8, the Pellies, man.
And kudos as well to the social media squad. Like the what do you call the wallpaper on Twitter? Is that what you call it?
The header.
The header,
right?
The
Yeah,
header. The header. They've got Herb as the header.
So good.
It's so good.
Not on Herb, man.
Not on Herb. And look, their bio is read Trey Murphy's bio.
Well, wait, now I want to go read Trey Murphy's bio. Yeah.
What does Trey Murphy's bio say?
Let's see.
It says Herb Jones for first team all defense 2022-2023. He's not wrong.
No?
He's not wrong. How does Trey Murphy only have 13,000 Twitter followers?
That's a great question.
Anyway, Pels win on Christmas. Great way to bring in the holiday. As Muse there said, moved to 12-8. They got Toronto in the blender mañana. I signed up for Babbel. Babbel, the app, the language app. Learning Spanish.
Hey.
On a whim. It popped up on my phone. I was like, you know what? I've always said I'm doing that. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school.
I was going to ask if you remembered anything from like school.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I took 3 years in high school and then a semester in college. And so there's a lot that's still in there. But I've never been fluent or good enough to speak it. But I'm like, you know what? I want to do that. So I'm doing that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, good luck.
Thanks. Appreciate it. We're brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Moving toward the NFL weekend, y'all. Of course, you'll have Thursday Night Football. Bet just 5 new customers. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 on any NFL game. If you hit on the money line, they'll give you $150 in free bets. Stepped up same game parlays are there. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. It's all at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet on the World Cup. Bet on the NBA. Bet on the NHL. We got Colucci coming up in a couple of days. It is the DraftKings Sportsbook, the best place to place all of your sports wagers. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-7-0-STOP. All right, it is after further review. We're going to wrap up hour number 2. Muse will have Tigers and the pros. Stay with us here. I think, and I hate to say this, but Sean texted me. We may have to punt Sean to tomorrow, so I apologize for that. But we will regroup if so. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we are wrapping up hour number 2. Apologies, no Sean Salisbury today. Sean is taking his final test for his master's. And he thought that he texted me. He's like, hey, man, I'm sitting down to take the test. Thought it was going to be a 60-minute allotment. It's 90 minutes, so it's going to take him into the 5 o'clock hour. So, anyway, shout out to Sean Salisbury, man, getting his master's, which is pretty cool. But anyway, so we'll try to catch up with Sean tomorrow on the show. Right now, Muso, Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Kyle Reed last night for the Minnesota Timberwolves. 18 minutes off the bench. 2 of 6 from the floor. 1 of 2 from 3. Pulled it up to 6 points in the game. 3 rebounds. Did get into some foul trouble. 5 personals last night for Nas. That definitely cut in to his playing time. The Wizards beat the Timberwolves 142-127.
Should have stayed.
Brooklyn Nets.
Would he still be here? Would he stay?
Freshman year was 18. When they won the
championship year?
SEC championship year in the Sweet 16. So this would be senior year, yeah. Right? No. Last year would have been a senior year. 21-22, not 22-23.
COVID year.
COVID year. Man, that has thrown off everything. It really has. Ben Simmons last night for the Brooklyn Nets, 11 minutes, was 0 of 3 from the floor, didn't score any points, had 3 assists and 4 rebounds in the game. Cam Thomas contributed 10 minutes off the bench, scored 2 points, an assist, and a steal. We got Garrett Temple minutes last night for the New Orleans Pelicans, 11 of them to be exact. He was perfect from the free throw line and 1 of 3 from the floor for 4 points, added 3 boards. Did Garrett Temple still going at Garrett Temple. And then finally, Tari Eason last night for the Houston Rockets, 19 minutes off the bench, 6 points in all, 3 rebounds and a steal, shot 2 of 6 from the floor. That is Tigers in Threat.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, thrill her this Christmas with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels. LMFJ.com. If you're thinking of popping the question, no better place than Lee Michaels. The best selection of the most beautiful diamonds, the highest quality diamonds at the best price, and you will always get the Lee Michaels experience. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, 9 locations in all. Find the one nearest you at LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Got a text that said, shout out to Mark Wilson, who said, any mention of Howard High C. Carter's son Cameron starting for the men's national team in soccer today? I had no idea. Let's grow. Shout out to High C's son. Is he from Baton Rouge? I guess we'll have to get this info. We'll figure that out later. Hour number 3 coming up right after SportsCenter. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. You know where to find them there at ReliefWindows.com, or you can always go to the Relief Windows showroom. It's their new corporate headquarters on Airline Highway in Prairieville. It is gorgeous. As a matter of fact, the same designer that did LSU's football ops did the Relief Windows showroom as well. It is dynamite. You got to go by and see. You can't miss it. If you're on Airline Highway and you're going south out of Baton Rouge into Prairieville, like past Highway 42, and just look to your right. I mean, you'll see it right there. It's Relief Windows. 288-8138 or reliefwindows.com. Experience, quality, and service. Always talk about the energy-efficient replacement windows, the beautiful entry doors. But remember, hardy plank and vinyl siding. You can essentially have the exterior of your home brand new, like remade in about 2 weeks' time with vinyl siding from Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com. Experience, quality, and service. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
My dad just really enjoyed his life, and he enjoyed smoking cigars and thought he was invincible. My stepdad quit smoking, and he really felt like he was in the clear. Sorry. I wish they would have been screened annually. It's not just you affect, it's your entire family.
For more information on Ochsner's free smoking cessation program and to see if you qualify for early lung screenings, visit ochsner.org/quit.
I'm Chris Nakamoto. Here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. Fallout is growing at the West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office after an employee confessed to stealing but remains on the payroll. Employees there say anyone else would have been fired. $150,000 is missing, and a longtime employee, Mandy Miller, is on paid leave after sources say she admitted to stealing. There are new details tonight pertaining to the investigation. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Facing a must-win, the United States beat Iran 1-0 to move on to the knockout stage at the World Cup. The only goal scored by Christian Pulisic. U.S. Soccer said he suffered an abdominal injury, was taken to the hospital for scans. If Pulisic can't play Saturday against Netherlands, the underdog United States does have a solid option to fill in, explains ESPN soccer analyst Taylor Twellman.
The Dutch are not going to sit in and defend. They're going to come after you, which plays into your hands of being strong on the counter. So as long as Timothy Weah's on the other side, if Pulisic is at all a question mark, then you've got a real viable substitution in Giovanni Reyna.
Taylor Twellman on Canty and Carlin. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee Show said he plans on playing Sunday against the Bears after getting positive test results on his rib injury. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones told 105.3 The Fan Odell Beckham Jr.'s removal from a flight Sunday won't impact the team's interest. He still thinks OBJ would be a good fit in Dallas. NBA T-Wolves All-Star forward Karl Anthony Towns expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a right calf strain.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Usually, Sean Salisbury right here. Our apologies. Sean texted me about an hour ago and had to bail on us today. He's good reason, though. He's taking his final exam for his master's degree. So just kind of got the time mixed up a little bit. But no worries. We'll try to catch up with Sean tomorrow. So we do always appreciate him. We will. So we'll pivot a little bit. I got a lot of stuff that I want to get to, including sort of I want to bring back something we talked about yesterday on the show, which generated a lot of conversation on social media, a lot of different other places. It's about the future of LSU's quarterback position. So I do want to circle back to that. And Dennis Allen, met with reporters yesterday. We'll get to some of that. LSU, of course, is back on the practice field today, getting ready for Georgia. First practice, getting ready for Georgia this week. Same thing there on the in Athens as they're getting ready for LSU. And one of the things I've talked about often with this Georgia team, not just this week, but throughout the year as we've watched them, is that when Georgia has it cranked up to 11, there's nobody in the country better. We saw that the season opener when they blew out Oregon 49-3, and we were reminded of it again when they throttled Tennessee. That 27-13 score is not in any way indicative of how badly Georgia beat Tennessee in that game. And look, they've had other blowout wins. They blew out South Carolina 48-7. They blew out Vandy 55-0. They beat Auburn 42-10. So it's not like they haven't been interested in other places. Like, they've been convincing. But there have been moments where you look and you go, that just didn't look great. I mean, they were in a dogfight with Kent State. Missouri had them dead to rights. Missouri had a goal-to-go situation where they could have gone up 3 scores on Georgia, and there just would not have been enough time for Georgia to come back and win it from down 3 scores. And then the last 2 weeks, they beat Kentucky 16-6, and they were a dogfight with Georgia Tech for a half. So Kirby Smart was asked kind of about Georgia and the sort of lack of consistency, which has been present this year. Here's what he said.
I do think their resilience is shown through, meaning when they've had an opportunity to play in adverse situations, they've done a good job of that. I don't have an explanation for why we might not play with consistency. I think every coach would say the number one trait they want to have is consistency in performance, and we really haven't had consistency in performance. Maybe not as much as the team the year before has had, but what they have had is resiliency, competitiveness, pridefulness, and response mechanism has been pretty positive.
I think it's to be expected. You lost 15 guys to the NFL off the national championship team. The hat tip is you lost 15 guys off the NFL team, off the national championship team to the NFL, and you're still the best team in college football. So clearly their roster, their talent evaluation, recruiting, everything. And keep in mind, Georgia took 0 transfers. They were the only school in America that took 0 transfers. Despite losing 15 guys to the NFL, they said, yeah, like our guys. And Kirby apparently was right. And maybe it is just that they're bored. Look, the last 2 weeks, Stetson Bennett against Kentucky was 13 of 19 for 116 yards. And against Georgia Tech, he was 10 of 18 for 140. On the season, Georgia is negative in the turnover margin. It's not often that a team is going to be number 1 in the country and for the season be negative in turnover margin. But that's how good they are. They can overcome their mistakes. But if there is a spot for LSU, it's that. It's the fact that Stetson Bennett, at times, is careless with the football, and Georgia will turn it over. And if LSU can win the turnover battle, get a few extra possessions, and catch an inconsistent Georgia team on an off day, that's their path to win the game. Straight up, LSU's not going to beat Georgia. If Georgia plays a clean game and cranks up the intensity meter the way they've done a couple times this year, Georgia's going to beat LSU and going to beat them soundly. That's why the spread's 17.5. But if LSU plays a clean game and plays with its hair on fire, and Georgia isn't ready to match that and makes a lot of mistakes, that's LSU's path in the game on Saturday. So I am interested in getting a report on Jaden Daniels. LSU's on the practice field today, so we should find out what the word is on Jaden, if he's out there practicing, if they feel like he's going to be a go. Listen, if Jaden Daniels isn't a go, then all bets are off for Saturday. That would just be devastating. You lose the guy who's accounted for 65% of your offense. I don't know that I would give LSU much of a shot at all. But we should get that answer as we move closer here. Speaking of Jaden Daniels, so that's kind of what I wanted to delve into a little bit. And I will welcome your feedback. If you want to join us, you can email us, tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Buy Ford YouTube chat and the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. So yesterday, I pointed out that there are some well-known quarterbacks that have jumped into the transfer portal. Cade McNamara from Michigan, Malik Hornsby from Arkansas, Luke Altmaier from Ole Miss, quarterbacks who you know, who you've heard of, And the point I made was that if Jaden Daniels decides to go pro, then Brian Kelly and his staff need to go at a quarterback via the transfer portal. And to be clear, we talked about it with Shea Dixon a bit ago as well. I'm not telling you that I know one way or another what Jaden Daniels is going to do. I mean, if you're an LSU fan, you should desperately want Jaden Daniels to come back for another season. It is nonsensical to want a quarterback with 4 years experience to leave. The quarterback that's accounted for 65% of your offense, the quarterback that is leading your team in rushing and has thrown for 2,500 yards, it is nonsensical to want him to leave. And that is a common fan fallacy, which is you have convinced yourself of something you haven't seen based on recruiting rankings. That was all the Nuss Bus stuff before the season. That's where a lot of people are right now with Walker Howard. And I've told you, I think Walker is going to be great, but I think we haven't seen it. I know what Jaden Daniels is and can be. We saw Joe Burrow have a good 2018 and an otherworldly 2019. We saw Zach Mettenberger struggle for a lot of 2012 and then become a 3,000-yard passer in 2013 and was incredible before he tore his ACL against Arkansas. Look at Hendon Hooker last year to this year, the transformation and the development. That's to be expected as a quarterback in that position stays, progresses, develops, improves. And there's no reason to think the same wouldn't happen for Jaden Daniels if he had another year. So, of course, you want him back. The obvious follow-up then, well, if he does, will people leave? I don't care. But at this point, the way college football is structured, I don't know how you could ignore that opportunity if Jaden does leave to add a veteran to your quarterback room. And it's not to say you're adding someone to give them the job. You'd be adding a quarterback to have a veteran option. It's like insurance. I mean, my house is great, but I have insurance on my house just in case, right? Like Jaden Daniels came here not being guaranteed the starting job. He won it. And if I look back over the last 10 years, the last decade, the most successful quarterbacks that LSU has had have been transfers. Mettenberger, Danny Etling, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. I mean, I have a large sample size to suggest to you that you're better off with a transfer. Now, maybe one of the guys on campus now develops, becomes awesome, and wins a job. That's a best-case scenario. But look around college football, man. I mean, Caleb Williams is a transfer at SC. He's going to lead his team, very likely, into the playoff. I mean, we talked about Jaden Daniels at LSU. Look at Bo Nix at Oregon. Look around college football. Look around the SEC. Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. I mean, it's just Hendon Hooker at Tennessee. It's just the landscape of college football now. Quarterbacks generally don't stay. And if they don't, they go somewhere, and the longer they stay, they'll usually succeed. So I'm not saying you bring in a quarterback to hand him the job. But if you're saying right now, like hypothetically, if Jaden Daniels goes pro, then you want to ride with Nussmeier, Walker Howard, and Ricky Collins. That is, in effect, saying in 2018, after Danny Etling, a transfer, his eligibility was done, you had Justin McMillan, Lowell Narcisse, and Miles Brennan. You would, in effect, be saying the same thing, like, ride with the guys you got because you recruited them, you got to trust your staff. No. You had an opportunity to add another veteran player to the quarterback room, and you did it, and it became the greatest player in the history of your program. You don't just ride with dudes on your roster just because they're on your roster. You should always be trying to make your team better. And it is never, ever, ever, in no circumstance, ever, is it a bad thing, is it a negative to add experienced depth at the most important position on the field. I'm not saying you bring in a transfer and just give him the job, but you let him compete. And maybe one of the young guys beats him out. If they do, guess what? You're a turned ankle away from having to go into your bench. And you got a veteran guy right there. I cannot understand any argument to suggest that it's a bad thing to try to add experienced depth at quarterback. Man, I got a tweet from a guy because I brought up the 2018 example. And this might be literally the worst opinion I have ever heard. Like, quite literally, the worst opinion I've ever heard. And the guy was suggesting that, well, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up right here and I'll read it for you. I'm not gonna say the guy's name because I don't want to give him any more attention that he doesn't deserve for anything. But this guy said regarding 2018, he said Miles Brennan didn't have the commitment to progress, also lack of work ethic, different situations completely. That might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, literally. So kudos to that guy. For in an ecosystem that generally cultivates a cesspool of awful opinions, that may be one of the worst ever. Let me remind you that Miles Brennan was playing as a freshman because he was committed to the program when they asked him to take a red shirt in 2018 so they could reset the quarterback depth. He was willing to do it and stayed. When weight gain was a problem, dude was setting an alarm clock to wake up in the middle of the night to eat so he could put on weight. When he finally got his chance to play, he tore his abdominal in half and still played a half of football at Missouri with a ripped apart abdomen. Like, if you're criticizing that dude, you're a moron. His commitment, work ethic, you're just a moron. It's rooted in nothing at all. But the point remains, in 2018, you could have rolled with McMillan, Narcisse, Brennan, but you decided to go get a transfer to supplement your quarterback room with some more experience, and it worked. Same thing this year. You could have rolled into this year with Brennan and Nussmeier and Howard, and you decided, I'm going to go get someone with starting experience, 3 years starting experience because it makes my team better, and you're better because of it. And if Jaden Daniels leaves, you absolutely have to go do the same thing again. You've got to go get somebody who's going to add a veteran experience presence in that quarterback room. And maybe one of the young guys beats him out. It would be awesome if it did. It would be awesome. But what if not? I want that option. It is never, ever, ever a bad thing. It is never a negative to add experience and depth at the most important position in team sports. I hope Jaden Daniels stays, but if he goes, they better add a quarterback. All right, if you want to join us, you can. Get your feedback in. Just don't be a moron like the guy on Twitter who tried to crap on Miles Brennan for not being committed and having work ethic. Like, where is that rooted in? That's one of the dumbest things I could possibly ever imagine. Anyway, like, that guy actually had that thought enter his brain, and then he used his fingers to type it out on a keypad and consciously hit send. Jesus. Help me. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. If you want to react, you can. Also, Dennis Allen, unfortunately, talked about his team as they get ready for Monday Night Football against Tampa Bay. Well, let's hear what he said. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. And, of course, we always tell you about Gordon Gives, which is the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. At Gordon Gives, every year around the holidays, Gordon gives away 500 brand new bicycles to children in our community. If you are interested in taking part of that program, you can go register and enter right now at GordonGives.com. Go to GordonGives.com. It's the Gordon Gives bike giveaway for 2022. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Yes, if you've been injured in an accident, you need help, wasn't your fault, Gordon, his team of attorneys, do amazing work, and they can help you out with locations all over the state, but, of course, right here in Baton Rouge. Go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. 888-8888. You could always call them, 888-8888. Or go to getgordon.com. Make sure you take part of the Gordon Gives Bike Giveaway 2022 at gordongives.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
As a community bank, B1 Bank invests in relationships with the people and businesses we proudly represent. Our B1 bankers are here to help simplify the complicated, understand your needs, and make managing your finances easier. At B1 Bank, we offer an array of solutions to help simplify your transaction needs. B1 Bank, one highly personal banking experience. Visit us online at b1bank.com for more information.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime. This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the NBA.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
A coaching carousel is spinning. Just very quickly, by the way, so Willie Fritz is staying at Tulane, if you missed that news. I did want to do this side by side, just as a brief illustration. Last week, John Sokoloff, who kind of became internet famous, the news director from, sports director from WCBI News in Mississippi, he's the guy who reported that Lane Kiffin was taking the Auburn job. Here was John Sokoloff's tweet from last week. Breaking, of course, because every Twitter breaking news has to be breaking. Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin plans to step down as the Rebels coach Friday and head to Auburn to become the Tigers' next head coach, according to sources. Sources say the Tigers haven't officially offered the job to anyone yet, so Lane to Auburn is happening. Story soon is how we put it. It was very sort of flippant and audacious, and John Sokoloff got made to look like a fool because of the way he handled that report. By contrast, Jeff Schultz of The Athletic, who has covered Atlanta sports for a long time, he's the one who was reporting about Willie Fritz and Georgia Tech. This is how Jeff Schultz worded his report. Georgia Tech coaching update. Again, this was last week. I'm sorry, this was 2 days ago. The Jackets are trying to get a deal done today with Tulane coach Willie Fritz, according to a program source. The sides are haggling over term guarantee, not salary. Tech was in deep convos with Bill O'Brien, but those talks may have cooled. Can you understand how different the approach is between the two? One guy saying definitively Lane Kiffin stepping down to become the Auburn coach, even though sources say an offer hasn't been there. It's happening. Lane's going. And Jeff Schultz's report was they're trying to get a deal. Georgia Tech and Willie Fritz are trying to get a deal done today. Here's the holdup. They were in talks with Bill O'Brien. They're trying to get it done today. Not it's happening, not it's done, not done deal, not he's going, any of that stuff. It was explaining how it was progressing. And there's a big difference. And ultimately, Tulane and Willie Fritz, or Georgia Tech and Willie Fritz couldn't come to an agreement. They promoted Brent Key, their interim, to full-time, and now Willie Fritz is staying at Tulane. It just illustrates during the season. I think Ross Dellinger says it all the time. Consider everything, believe nothing. Until someone's standing at a podium, it's never really a done deal. One thing that is confirmed is that Deion Sanders has an offer to be the Colorado head football coach. Colorado, after a 1-11 season, fired Carl Durrell, who's the former UCLA coach as well. And Deion has confirmed. So Jackson State's playing Southern in the SWAC championship, and Deion was on a conference call, and he confirmed that, yes, he has an offer to be the Colorado head football coach, and said it's not his only one, but he wasn't going to disclose the others. First of all, good for Deion. What might have seemed like a joke at the time of him becoming a coach has clearly shown many things. Number one, he cares about his players. He's a hell of a recruiter. I mean, he's Deion Sanders. He's a Hall of Famer. He's primetime. He's a lot of things. But he can coach as well. I mean, Jackson State went from, the proverbial outhouse to the penthouse. And they have been really, really good on the field. Yeah, look, he's got a lot of better players there. He's got some 4- and 5-star guys who've gone to play for him, but you still got to fill a full roster. But they're 11-0 this season, and they've been really good since he's been there. So I think Deion has proven it's not a sideshow. Like, he can recruit, he can coach, and he'll get a great opportunity. I don't know if Colorado would be the opportunity, though, for Deion that I would take. Boy, because you are in a talentless state. You are in a program that does not commit resources in terms of facilities, recruiting budget, et cetera, to that job. Like, if Arizona State offered Deion, that's a no-brainer. You're in Phoenix. You're in a big market. You can dip into California for players. Facilities like their stadium is old, but you better believe Deion would be able to motivate boosters to get involved and a lot of the their donors. That would make a lot of sense. Deion to Arizona State would make sense. Colorado, I don't know. Like, if you were going to take a Colorado job, you would have to be in a situation like Lance Leipold going to Kansas. No, and this is a terrible situation. You're never going to win big, but if you can win a little bit, you're going to get people's attention to the degree that you're going to get a better opportunity. Look, Mike McIntyre did it at Colorado. Mike McIntyre had Colorado in the Pac-12 championship game, got him in a Pac-12 championship game. Now, his problem was when his stock was high, he didn't jump ship and ultimately got fired because it's really hard to win and sustain success there. But you look at some of these jobs that are open. I mean, Auburn's obviously been filled. Luke Fickell leaving Cincinnati to go to Wisconsin is interesting to see, like, why Fickell would take that job. And now Cincinnati's open, which has had a run of successful head coaches. Of course, Brian Kelly had success there. Fickell has had success there. So who is next at Cincinnati? That's a very appealing group of 5 job. Stanford's open. Georgia Tech is now filled, and we'll see what other jobs do, in fact, come open throughout this coaching carousel and the cycle. But, boy, if Deion were going to leave Jackson State, man, leaving for Colorado doesn't seem like the premier destination. But we'll certainly have to follow that because he's interesting, man. It's an interesting story. That's undeniable that he's proven he deserves an opportunity to take a next step up from the SWAC to see if he can win at the next level, whatever that may be. You can always email me, Matt at 1045ESPN.com. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou YouTube chat, the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We got to do a Citizens Bank poll question. Maybe put up, like, what's the best coaching job available, or what job should Dion take? If you want to do that, put that up as the poll question. I want to remind you about Mold Zero USA, mold-zerousa.com, mold-zerousa.com. Call Jim Woodworth and the gang over at Mold Zero. They kill mold, remove odors, home, office, place of business. We're not talking about cutting sheetrock. We're not talking about demo. This is a patented, non-toxic dry fog. They'll come into your home, into your office. They'll spray the fog. Of course, the fog will get into every nook and cranny. They'll let it dwell. It'll kill the mold, eliminate odors, and as soon as the fog dissipates, you're free and clear to go back into your home, safe for you, your family, your pets, your plants, all of it. It's Mold Zero. Mold-zerousa.com. Servicing Greater Baton Rouge and Greater New Orleans. There's a phone number for BR and NOLA, so go to the website and contact that number near you. Mold-zerousa.com. Mold-zerousa.com. All right. Thank you. Dennis Allen was on the his coach's teleconference on Monday. Of course, after the Saints lost, they were shut out for the first time in 20 years. Unbelievable to even say that out loud. But Dennis Allen talked with the media and gave his thoughts. Well, you know what? Actually, let me hold so I don't get too off track. I went long in the first segment. Let me grab a break. We'll come back. If you want to weigh in on the LSU taking transfer quarterbacks conversation, feel free to join me. That conversation's open. You can email me, tweet me, text me. It's all there. When we come back, though, I do want to talk a little bit about what Dennis Allen had to say. And, of course, as they get ready for the rematch with Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football, some commentary from Tampa as well. Okay, glad you're here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the Greater Baton Rouge area. Siega near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Y'all, it is officially Christmas time at Clegg's. Christmas trees arrived last week. The Mosconas went on Black Friday. We picked out our Christmas tree at the Clegg's on Siegen. It's already decorated. It's beautiful. Erica did an awesome job. They've got a great selection of Christmas trees, live and pre-lit trees. So you can, if you're not looking for the live tree option, they have pre-lit trees at Clegg's as well. They've got poinsettias, great Christmas decor, indoor and out. So if you're looking to turn your home into a beautiful winter wonderland, Clegg's can help. Remember, shop for the green thumb on your list as well. A Clegg's gift card is a great option for the hard-to-buy 4-person on your list. Let them pick out what they want. You can find it at Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
It's almost like the football gods are teasing us with the Saints. They're 4-8. They're terrible. They're going nowhere. We all know it. But they're in last place. But they're 2 games in the loss column out of first place. And they have 3 division games left. One of them against Tampa, who obviously leads the division. That'll be on Monday Night Football. So mathematically, the Saints are still very much... I can't even say it out loud. Mathematically, the Saints are still very much alive. But we all know they're dead in the water. Dennis Allen was asked Monday if he's surprised where the team is.
Yeah, I don't know what that term is, surprised. I don't know if that's the term or whatever, but not happy. Not happy with where we're at. I think there's a better football team in there than that. But look, your record is what your record says you are, and we're at that point in the season. But like I said, look, we got 5 games left. It starts with a Monday night game against division rival in Tampa Bay, and we're going to start focusing on getting ready for those guys.
It's really difficult, man. Because Dennis Allen seems like a really nice guy, and I think as a defensive coordinator, he was exceptional. He's a huge part of turning this Saints team around from those back-to-back 7-9 seasons to what they become over the last half decade. He's just a guy without answers. It's abundantly clear, even when you listen to him there. Are you surprised by the record? Well, I don't know what that word means. What the word is? What do you mean you don't know? Are you surprised? Like, did you think you'd be better than you are at 4-8? Yeah, the answer is yes. You thought you'd be better. I mean, there were people who were projected. Didn't Bart Scott project the Saints to go to the Super Bowl? Wasn't it Bart Scott? I mean, you were seeing sleeper picks because there was an argument to be made for this team, and I got it. I mean, and not to rehash this whole conversation, but again, I'm not criticizing the hire or any of the decisions that were made with the benefit of hindsight, because a lot of them I understood at the time, and I felt this organization deserved the benefit of the doubt. I mean, you had great culture. Hey, retain Dennis Allen. He had been a failed head coach. Yeah, but he was in a terrible organization. Now he's got a good roster. He's been here. Second go-around. He can improve. You can look at coaches who got a second chance, how they've improved the second time. There were a lot of reasons why it made sense. A lot of reasons. Thought you improved your roster. You had a Jarvis Landry. May and Matthew, you had new safeties. You bolstered your offensive line with Penning. Now, his injury missed most of the season. You had Chris Olave. You have a objectively better quarterback situation than you did a year ago. And you were 9-8, there's a lot of reason to think that this team would get going. But you haven't. And Dennis Allen's mismanaged a lot of it. He's mismanaged a lot of the roster and handling situations, not just in game, but throughout the week, and always met with the media, and there's just not a lot of confidence there. You could tell. It's just not there's nothing that gives you any degree of confidence that they're going to turn it around. A couple of other things he talked about. Number 3, please. This was Dennis Allen, for watching the film, his thoughts on the job Andy Dalton did against the Niners.
I'd say overall, I'd say solid. I thought he did a good job of creating some things with his feet when the protection did break down. I thought overall the protection was pretty good. I thought he gave our guys some opportunities down the field to make some plays, and we just didn't make enough plays in that game really to give ourselves a chance.
Andy Dalton was 18 of 29 for 204 yards. You scored 0 points in the ballgame. Your drive chart was 4 plays fumble, 4 plays punt, 5 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 2 plays into the half, 12 plays missed field goal, 12 plays fumble, 9 plays downs. I mean, it's fair to say, well, what do you want a coach to say? You want him to go into the press conference and crap on his players? No, and I don't expect him to. But I also don't know how Andy Dalton has earned any benefit of the doubt. You know, if the conversation that you were going to have at the beginning of this season, or excuse me, when the Jameis conversation started about 2 weeks ago, right? With the interview Jameis gave to Mike Triplett, and then Jameis talking to reporters about losing the job due to injury. If the explanation that Dennis Allen was giving was that the offense was playing well, the offense isn't playing well anymore. And if you've decided that you've moved on, okay, and maybe their actions are tacitly telling us that they've moved on. And if that's the case, that's the decision the organization has made, fine. But don't continue lying to me. Just tell me you've made a decision that you're going to go in another direction, and you can live with that. And then you'll reassess after this year. Okay. Like, I can live with that. What I can't live with is you continue to try to feed me this narrative that Andy Dalton's playing well, or that he gives you the best chance offensively, and a game where you get shut out for the first time in 20 years, and you're going to tell me the quarterback played well in the game, was solid. I mean, there's no reality by which a team can get shut out, and you're going to tell me the quarterback play was solid. So, man, look, I mean, I get it. Alvin Kamara fumbling twice is crucial. Will Lutz missed a field goal. I get it. You had an interception that would have put you inside the 5-yard line, taken away. There were opportunities they had to get points that weren't Andy Dalton's fault. I get that. So it's not the shutout alone. But you were not a good offense for a half plus of football. And I just don't know how it gets better, man. It's harder and harder to talk about this team, and I think I'm just thinking out loud a little bit here, that we collectively have to make a decision, or maybe I got to make a decision, how much we're really going to sit here and talk about the Saints much more, because they're not interesting. I mean, a bad football team that keeps losing with a coach that's in over his head and a quarterback that you're riding with despite the fact that he's not good, it's not interesting. I mean, interesting would be if they make a change and reinsert Jameis against his former team and the team against which he tore his ACL last year. That would be interesting. If they fire Dennis Allen, that would be interesting. I'm not advocating it right now. I'm not saying fire the coach in the middle of the year or anything. I'm saying I'm looking for interesting storylines with the Saints, because a 4-8 football team that's going nowhere fast, it doesn't appear to be, that is just finding new lows. Not interesting, man. And honestly, it's getting less and less relevant to talk about with every passing week. So they'll play on Monday night, national stage against Tom Brady and the Bucks. See if they can get on track in some way. All right, we're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. 29 offices across 11 different states. You know where to find them. They're online at Michelli.com. They're an ISO 17025 accredited laboratory, and you may not know what that is. And if you don't, then you probably don't need Michelli's services. But if you do know what ISO 17025 accreditation is, then you understand why Michelli is what they are. Of course, tell you all the time about their track system as well. That allows you 24/7, 365 access to all of your records, your calibration certificates, and that is a free service that makes you more efficient. It's all there for you at Michelli.com. Michelli Weighing and Measurement online at Michelli.com. Michelli.com. All right, been a really good show. Again, apologize. Normally, Sean Salisbury is here with us in hour number 3 on Tuesday. Sean had to bail on the show. He did text me just a minute ago. He said he got a perfect score on his exam. So shout out. Shout out to Sean Salisbury. He was taking his final exam for his master's degree. So we're going to try to catch up with Sean tomorrow. But we had Shea Dixon to start hour number 2. If you missed that, Peter Burns was talking some SEC championship with us in hour number 1. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf, you can check it out there or on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you. Smash that like button as always, and please subscribe up to the channel. Quick reminder, all of our coverage from Atlanta for the SEC championship presented by Hudco Roofing. You'll be able to watch all of our shows on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So AFR on Friday. Hanny Time is going to be there as well Friday. So I think it's going to be, help me out, it's going to be an extended Hanny Time?
Yeah, Hanny Time from noon to 3 Central here.
Okay.
With Hanny, and I think Hester's hopping on for a little bit.
I think, Hester's going to jump in for a couple hours. The unfortunate part, Hunt's travel situation kind of got a little screwy without going into too much detail. So Hunt's not making the trip as part of the LSU Sports Radio Network. So he'll do the network pre and post from Baton Rouge. So Hanny's going to do 3 hours from noon to 3 Friday. Then AFR will pick up from 3 to 6. And we're going to be at Big Kahuna in Atlanta. It's on Peachtree. Everything's on Peachtree in Atlanta. But essentially, the LSU hotel is the Hilton. The Georgia hotel is the Marriott. The Media Hotel is the Hyatt. That's where we'll be, at the Media Hotel. Well, right behind, like a half a block away, is this restaurant, Big Kahuna. The owner has been so awesome to work with. They're fired up to have us. They're going to have great drink specials. They're staying open late. All of our shows will be there. They're going to have like the beer girls. I don't know which one yet. If it's one of the big, you know,
I don't have the answer for that one.
That's okay,
yet, Matt.
But dude, he's gonna, with one of their vendors, they're gonna be giving away a pair of tickets to the game as well through one of their vendors. So it's gonna be a huge party, and we're really looking forward to it. I know my friend Sally Steele over the Alumni Association was gonna put it on their itinerary as well for all of our shows. And look, if you're looking for something to do on game day, here's the one thing that's different. Eagle 98.1 game day is going to be from the fanfare, the SC fanfare, but post game and whiskey and wine will be back at Big Kahuna after the game. So some changes a little bit, but just know we'll be at Big Kahuna in downtown Atlanta, like half a block from the Media Hotel, the Hyatt. We'll get you all the details. But if you do want a pregame party option, our friends at the Alumni Association are having their party. It's at Stats in Atlanta. And you go to the LSU Alumni Association website to get tickets. And the tickets include, it's like DJ, music, food, open bar, all the stuff. If you want to like party with LSU fans before the game, do the alumni tailgate. It's the best place to go. So check that out. All right, it's after further review. Final break. Otter Locks next.
AFR.
Wish they had a Pluckers in Atlanta. Unfortunately, they don't. Alas, we will not be at Pluckers on game day. But if you were in Baton Rouge and staying home, Pluckers is a great spot. Before, during, or after the game, you want to get some wings, you can do it at Pluckers. You want to get there on Saturday to watch all the championship football, get there early, stay there late, you can do it at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, in Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Not just game day, but any day. Tonight and every Tuesday, kids eat free. You want to get out of the house with the whole family and do so affordably? Every Tuesday at Pluckers is a great option. Parents buy the entrees, kids eat free. That's every Tuesday at Pluckers. And Tuesday at Nicholson Pluckers, our buddy Hunt Palmer hosts sports trivia. So get your team together, live action trivia. Every team, even if you don't win a round, you get to spin the prize wheel to win a great prize from Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Remember, at Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Yacht Father himself, Jimmy Yacht. Otter, how are you?
What's going on, Matt?
Another day, inching closer to SEC championship. Tough one last night, so hope. Hey, look, man, freaking Jonathan Taylor fumbling at the 2-yard line. Come on. Let's get back on track tonight, man. What you got for us?
Yeah, don't go crazy. We're going to ease into this college basketball schedule.
Okay.
But we got 3 picks for you tonight.
All right.
All of them should be on TV some sort of way. First, we'll start with the Baylor Bears. They're traveling up to Milwaukee to take on Marquette, laying 5.5 points. It's funny because 67% of the tickets are on the Baylor Bears, but less than 50% of the money, 45% of the money is on Baylor. So Marquette at home plus 5.5. Not sure what you have there.
All right, so we like Marquette in that game?
Yes.
Okay, Marquette, I'm looking at DraftKings at 5.
Okay.
All right. What else we got? You said
If
there were
you do have 5.5, bet at the 6. Anything, any single digit, lay in or taken. We always buy from a half to a whole number. So a lot of math involved. Explain it to you later. All right, Wichita State in Missouri. Wichita State proud program trying to get back on track at home against Mizzou, catching 2.5 at Bet Rivers. What do you have at DraftKings?
2.5 at DraftKings.
Okay, so bet it to 3. Shockers +3 against Missouri.
All right.
And then one of the most impressive teams, a great start for the Virginia Cavaliers. And Ken Palm has them actually number 5 team in the country. Michigan a little bit down the way, like at number 40. But in actually their difference, the Ken Palm difference on a neutral court is 12 points. But we're taking the 4 at home. You give an arena like this, the Chrysler Arena at Ann Arbor, is going to be tonight. You give them a 5-point favorite, right? A 5-point edge right there.
1 minute.
It doesn't catch up with Ken Palm, but this line has trickled up a little bit. We're taking Michigan +4 against Virginia. That's part of the Big Ten ACC Challenge, 8:30 on ESPN. Common theme: home dogs. Marquette, Wichita State, Michigan, all catching points at home on their home floor.
All right, Marquette laying 5.
Plus.
I'm sorry.
Home
+5.
dog.
I'm sorry. Marquette +5. Sorry. Marquette +5. Wichita State +3. Michigan +4. 3 home dogs for the Otters. Where are you tonight, Otter?
Down the street, Dozy Place in the Crown Town room.
Y'all get on by and see the Otter tonight. Game Time with Jimmy Out follows us in Baton Rouge. Thank you, Otter.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, have a great show. We appreciate the Otter, all of our guests. You miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Golf. Muse, Paulie, thanks so much. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. We are getting closer to the holidays, which means it's time to start thinking about, of course, gift cards, stocking stuffers, all that good stuff. And December is almost here, y'all. A couple more days left in November, but man, some great deals. In December, for every $100 gift card purchase, you get 5 units of wrinkle relaxant for free. Buy a $250 gift card, 15 units for free. Buy a $500 gift card, get a free hydrofacial. Buy a $750 gift card, get $250 off a syringe of filler. Listen, they're the leader in all things anti-aging. Great deals all throughout the month of October. Make sure you buy those gift cards. Take advantage of the great specials at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Online, theantiagingclinics.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.